Hi, what's going on? It's just me right now. I think we're going to start shortly in about 5 minutes. I figured I'd come on early since I'm just sitting here. Just nothing to do. Drinking a coffee, trying to get awake. How has your Christmas been, people? Your holidays? Your happy holidays? Let's chat a bit, and then at some point, these people will all be online. There's going to be, I think, a couple less people today. I know Lance is not going to make it. Matt Binder, I don't think is going to make it. So it's going to be the four of us. A little more intimate. A little more, I don't know, less chaotic. Though I have to say that the first 3 episodes weren't really all that chaotic despite being 6 people. But I think we're good. I really have no idea what we're talking about today. I've taken this week off completely, minus. Sorry, Mike started the call. All right, I'm going to be joining him in a second. I've taken this week off, so I saw today that Andrew Tate was. I think he's arrested. That's what it sounds like in Romania after he gave out his location, confirming that he was actually in Romania with the pizza box he had in his attempt to try and dunk, I guess, on Greta Thunberg, even though she, anyways, maybe we'll talk. I'm sure we'll talk about this on the podcast. But let me see. Let me join Mike, and I'll be right back. And I may start this back up very quickly. I'm not, to be clear, not start it back up. I'll be on the same stream, but I'll be coming back in a minute after I join this chat. Just give me a second here. Chipotle
I
or
personally
McDonald's?
would probably do Chipotle.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I prefer. The thing is so Chipotle here. It's not really a big thing in Canada. There's like a few locations, but when I've gone there in Toronto, there's no sauces. Is that normal? Like it's
When
like
you
there's
say
no
no
burrito
sauce,
sauce. It's just like there's sour cream, but it's like rice, veggies, protein. Are there sauces?
no hot, no medium, no tomato, no corn salsa, no none of that.
There's probably there's salsa. There may be
But
hot
there's
sauce, but
not like
but
they're
there's
like
no
two
like
different.
there's no like milk based sauces like like a burrito sauce or like what I mean.
No,
Mm.
I'm not much of a cook myself, so so no, I don't know. But I know I've never had no complaints at Chipotle, David.
Because it's the only burrito place I've been to where there's no sauce. And I think this is just a weird Canadian issue or that one location for some reason.
What is the kind of sauce that you associate as an essential part of burritos that's not sour cream? Like, you know what I mean? I thought sour cream is what we think of as like, oh, a burrito needs this. What is this magic
Oh no,
sauce?
I need flavor. I need like I don't know. I don't know how to explain but like burrito sauce, but there's like burrito sauce. There's trying to think what else like the other places I've been to that aren't Chipotle. There's like a cilantro lime sauce that I've had at some other burrito places that's really good. But like I like my burritos wet, like with sauce. I don't want it dry. I want my burritos dripping. I need sauce in my.
Oh, I'm a fish.
Same with my wings. My wings need to be
Live
dripping in
on-
sauce. Like that's what makes the wing. Otherwise, why am I eating chicken wings?
It's actually hilarious.
Well, I'm live, and we're just so because I think it went live as soon as David said needs to be dripping with sauce. So just to give everyone context, we're talking about burritos and Chipotle.
Talking about the lack of sauce at Chipotle is what I'm talking about.
If they had heard the entire conversation, I don't think it would sound any less suggestive than it did in that one soundbite.
So for anyone who's watching now, we're just waiting for the Illuminati to jump in. So both Matt and Lance are off. Lance will be back the first week of January. Matt will be back the second week of the first week of January. First or second week of January. So it's just going to be four of us tonight. But I mean, there's no shortage of topics to discuss. So,
And I think Blair's still coming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Blair is essential. She is an essential person.
She is essential. She
We
brings
cannot
up
do
the
business
topics.
without her. 100%. Like, I need it. I love it. That was the best thing we ever did.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Blair kills at that role. I don't even know if I order food or I just like to spend money. I think I'm addicted to spending money, which is like a bad trait for to be poor adjacent and have. You know what I'm saying? Like
This year I became addicted to buying video games, and like I have like 5 or 6 I haven't played, and they're just there, and I want to play them, but I don't have time because I have a kid. But it's I don't know. I have them there as sort of a inspiration. Like when I have time, when I do my work, then I can treat myself to something. But I have no time. That said, this week I've taken off and I started Elden Ring. So
you said you bought 6 video games. You said 6?
5 or 6 that haven't been open yet.
And that's what you consider like ODing on yourself?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm a self-indulgent bitch. Like you said 6, and I'm like, for the year, like that's
not all years. 6 that aren't that haven't been played. This entire year I don't know how many I bought, but a lot.
Okay.
They're usually on sale though. Like I wait till sales happen, and that's why I have like, that's why I'm buying them.
When I was in law school and I was still I was in the throes of mental health. I used to have this thing where I'm like, okay, if I do everything that I'm supposed to do or all my goals for the week, then I'm going to treat myself to a shoe. And every week I failed my own personal goal list and could never get myself no shoes. And one time I was explaining that to my best friend who, Nia, and she is insurmountable what she's been to my mental health. But I remember she was just like, oh, well, I just do nice things for Nia because I'm Nia and it's my job to be nice to Nia. And I was like, huh. What? Like, she was like, yeah, there shouldn't be a metric system for your happiness. Like, yeah, like that's your whole thing in life. And I'm like, and now I'm just like, oh, I do shit just because I'm aligning me.
Yeah.
Like all day, I'd be like, oh, look at you breathing blessed. Yeah, like you should go ahead and celebrate, girl. Get that coffee. Get that thing. Whatever it is. I'm like, oh, you know what? I literally just thought to myself, like, I'm about to change my hair, and I'm like, I spent a significant amount of money on this hairstyle to keep it for a month, and I was like, such is life. Moved on. I was like, I'm doing frivolous shit in the name of just, self-care. I'm possessed by the spirit of treat yourself. That's my problem. Like,
I think that's fine though. Like it's we have to stay sane. We have to stay, especially the stuff that we do and that you do. Like just the amount of, I don't know, serious shit that we read about or deal with on a daily basis. We deserve it.
yes.
We've earned the ability to treat ourselves occasionally when we want to.
And
Food especially, like if if my house doesn't have anything good to make, and that's quite often, I'm like, you know what, I want a burrito, or I want, Subway sometimes. I know it's bad, but something that'll be like this, I'm satisfied.
My bodega, my bodega knows my voice over the phone. Don't know my name, but they know it's me. Like you were not gonna be judged here.
Shit. Sorry.
That's weird.
Okay, I crashed my whole stream. Having to restart.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, you're frozen.
Yeah, your voice is
Blair says she's running late. She's so sorry. She doesn't know when she'll be in. Okay, well, do y'all wanna start with something when Mike gets back?
Yeah, once Mike gets back.
Yeah, when Mike gets back up, we can discuss.
We could probably start I don't know, Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
Since that's what my chat is saying, we should start.
Really quick. My computer is now running very smoothly, so I'm going to switch to my other desktop. Give me 1 sec.
No problem.
Someone said locked in. I too like sauce in my burritos, David.
See, there you go.
You have community.
Otherwise, it's just like you're eating like dry rice and meat and like what?
I love how specific you are about burritos.
I love burritos. I love Mexican food. Like top number one food is Mexican food for me.
Yeah.
Easy. I like spice. I like variety. I like complex flavors. I like things happening in my food. I like, burritos and
I'm a
enchiladas,
Bahamian supremacist myself. Bahamian food is my favorite food. I'm really a ridiculous Bahamian. It's amazing that I don't have a flag outside my balcony yet, but emphasis on yet. Like,
why not?
'Cause I'm gonna get one. My neighbor, a Bayesian, moved in next door, and now there's a big Bayesian flag hanging on the balcony, and I'm like, oh, see, no, see now, you done challenge me. Let me go buy me a flag.
Yeah, might as well express it, show it off.
Yeah. Listen,
Be
I love
proud.
it. Love me some Bahamians. Oh, also, y'all, you see my Elon Musk shirt?
Oh, that is nice. Where'd you get that? Looks familiar. I think I've seen those.
You might have seen it on. It's from Entry, I think. Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you exactly.
I forget who's selling that. Yeah,
right
I thought
now.
I saw that.
Let me give their. When we put things in the chat, it shows up on the stream for people, right?
It does for Lance. It doesn't for me. I don't know what program he uses for that.
Lance is very high tech. I got it from Entry Level LLC. It's a clothing brand, Entry Level. Their website is entrylevel-llc.com.
I see it.
Yeah. Love it.
Nice.
It for me. I'm like, I can't stand Elon Musk. The funny thing is, once he just gets away from Twitter, I'll never think about him again. It's just like when Donald Trump got banned off Twitter. I'm like, I don't care what you do. You don't exist. You died a social death for me, and you lost the election. You don't have no Twitter, and you lost the election. You died. You passed away.
Like there were a few times where I covered him because he was, there's been a lot in terms of Tesla and lawsuits against them for discrimination, for he fired people who were trying to unionize, so there's like that whole thing. So I covered him here and there because he was in the news for that stuff. But yeah, since Twitter, that's kind of been, him just demanding all this news because of the news he's making. But I don't know. I haven't. Has there been maybe because I've been off Twitter? Has anything happened the past week with him? I feel like it's been kind of quiet on the Elon Musk front.
I'm trying to remember. So Tesla stock is down, is
Mm.
exceptionally down. I saw that.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember, it's been the newest, him messing up the interface with the, with all the views counts and all of that.
Yeah,
nonsense.
I saw. So I'm guessing those view counts are bullshit because
They are.
I saw someone create, or they said they did this. They created an account, a protected account that only they followed, so only they saw the tweets, and they did one tweet. They looked at it once, and it had 12 views. Like no one else could see the tweet. So
That's
it's
it.
like
It very much so. So yeah, it's not even, first of all, it's not views. It's like, essentially how they do the impressions, what we could have always seen on our analytics. It just makes the place look clunky. It doesn't do anything
it's
for
too
it.
busy.
I also, the switch around of the retweeting and the co-tweeting, like how we move those, that's my thing. All jokes aside, my problem with Elon Musk, like very palpably beyond the fact that he's taken over this platform for his own aims, what he intends to do in terms of influencing public opinion and politics, the censorship, everything. It's just that he's doing a bad fucking job, my guy. Like, period. Like, even if he weren't, like, let's pretend, fuck everything else, because I don't have no personal, like, I actually, believe it or not, my little sister hated Elon Musk years ago. I actually emailed her the other day, like, hey, just want to say you did call that. But he was never, I never had any reason to be personally invested in disliking the man. He don't matter to me. That's not my side of the pop culture sphere. But now, like, even if it weren't for the political stuff and everything else, he's fucking up the app. Like, half the video, like, it's insane that the videos no longer old. The videos just don't play. They will mute out. They will skip. They will revert back. And that's been persistent. Like, the no effort. Like, do you remember there ever being a Twitter glitch that they just let be? Like, it was just 2 weeks. Like, you could just, I never thought that. And it's ruined. Like, especially in a case of someone like me who's used Twitter so much with videos. And I'm like, wow, like all this content that just is glitchy, you read tweets stuff now and people comment to you, oh, I can't play it, I can't hear it. And it's just like, oh my God, just everything he could do is just ridiculous of what he's done with the verification system. It's all nonsense.
Yeah, and it was all unneeded. Like Twitter didn't need any tweaking at all. I mean,
No.
maybe here and there some stuff, but it didn't need any like changes like to the interface, to seeing view count. Like it didn't really need anything. And then so like initially I thought that he wouldn't mess with it because he wants to make money. He doesn't want to lose money on this. He's already lost money by spending too much on it. So why would he touch it to fuck it up?
Yeah.
And of course I was completely wrong. Like he's so used to smelling his own farts that he just thinks whatever he does is going to turn to gold. And it's just like he didn't realize how shitty it could become. Unless he really wanted to lose all that money, which some people are arguing he did. But really? Did he want to be the number 2 richest person in the world? Like, I don't think he did.
I genuinely, I really hate when like unnecessary. I mean, I guess it's a good thing because one of the things I really appreciated in being a lawyer is like when you know who the prosecutors are, the judges, these people, knows them in a human sense, and you get that like, oh, this is not like these are titles, these are things, these are not. People are just regular people. These are just regular people with the same biases and just being not being cool, having their own insecurities, and just regular people with fancy titles and shit like that. And I feel like being a lawyer allowed me to see that. And I feel like that's what Elon Musk is doing for the entire population. Like you're seeing, like, no matter what you call him, you could think he's a genius or not, and he's a billionaire, whatever, all these different things. What you can see is a fundamentally insecure man. And that's on display. That is not, even if I didn't dislike him, that's just a fact. Because he's clearly operating off that. Because there's no other reason but ego. The only reason to change the things in Twitter is because he needed to be able to say, I made it better, I'm this. He needed to be the conversation. He needed to be heralded in some way. He wanted to be celebrated. He wants to be discussed. He wants to be like liked and loved. And so he's there fucking it up, trying to make it his own, trying to put his own stamp on it, but he's just destroying it. And instead of, I think the best advice my daddy ever gave me indirectly, he was talking about his own life. But my daddy said, when you find yourself in a hole, quit fucking digging. And that is, Elon Musk is like every day just digging, and like it's like cut off your nose to spite your face. Like you don't want to give in to, oh, we hate you, we this, we think da 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 da. Like it would be admitting defeat to just change it back, to go get the people, to go hire the people, to do the things that you need to do to make everything whole again. But he's so caught up in his own ego, his own this, that he's just gonna keep fucking digging until he's at the fucking bottom.
And he's even losing like his like tech diehard fans. Like there's a video going around of him talking. I don't know if it was with other Twitter employees, or it was a group of people like through Twitter Spaces, I think. And they were talking about like software, and he's Elon Musk brings up how we should just redo the whole thing, like just from scratch, like whatever. And then someone in there's asking him like, well, what do you mean by that? Like, can you actually explain? Like really like pushing on him to explain what he means, and he can't explain it. And then he calls the guy a jackass. The guy's asking him like, explain what you mean. So now there are people that are like, in like programmers that are like turning on him, that thought he was a genius, because now they realize that the veil has been lifted. Like the guy's a moron. It's people around that he's hired his entire life, and of course being born into wealth with his dad being an emerald miner. Like that's why he is where he is. It's not because he's some genius individual.
This belief system people have, because I've even had like Black people that I know that are intelligent, that I otherwise respect the opinion of, say things like, oh, well, there's no way the guy, has made all this money and got to where he's got without being like incredibly down. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean there's no way? In fact, there's all the ways. Like, have you looked at the world? Like, do you think like what? No, he's not a genius. He's literally born into circumstance. And that's not, listen, you can't condemn nobody for that, right? Like whatever is your circumstances you're born into and whatever privileges you have. But he is in fact an unimpressive individual when it comes to just diagnosing him as an individual, not just, oh, what are the gains that you got because you already started with a lot. You know what I mean? This man, it's not a started from the bottom. Now we hear type of story. There's not been evidence when you actually look at the man's track record, look at all the issues he's been in. There's actually a lot of evidence that there would be problems. You know what I mean? Which is why, in fact, people spent, from the moment the whole Elon Musk is going to buy Twitter thing, every intellectual and their mama was writing think pieces and explaining how exactly what is happening is what's happening. Because it's one thing to, try to make the app untenable, which I mean you really can, because Twitter is not a place for the faint of heart. People that are on Twitter are battle tested, okay? They're ready for the mess. Like they're gonna flame you. But what he's done is like destroy the infrastructure of the app. Like he's breaking the app down day by day. It's just a glitchy thing. Have y'all, the latest glitch with like when you go reply to something, it'll tell you initially like, oh no, as though it were deleted, and you try again and then it'll post. Like it's doing that.
I've had that. I've had mentions disappear. I've gone in my mentions and I see mentions from like a year ago. Like, why are these here now? Like, what's going on? Like,
yes. Yes.
It's all just bad.
Yeah, I might have missed it when I was gone, but yesterday the whole site basically crashed and stopped working. Where you try to log in and it just says error, and I'm like, oh god, is this it? Is it gone forever? Is this the moment? The website runs like shit on Safari, which is my main browser. So I have to use Chrome now for Twitter. It's just, it's a mess. He proves that rich people aren't inherently smarter. In fact, rich people are very stupid. I don't know if you all saw the Home Depot CEO, this 93-year-old, I think his name is Bernie Marcus. Yeah. He blamed people being lazy, as if that's a fact, on the socialism that we have today. It's like, motherfucker, what reality are you living in to where we adopted socialism? Excuse me? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what is their definition of socialism? And it's just anything that I don't like. And they all use it that way.
I also need us to start pretending like anybody is working as hard as the working class. Like, like I think about that all the time, right? Like the more I get paid in my life, the less I've actually done. Like, you know what I mean? The hard, you know what I mean? Like that's how it moves up, right? You start making more money to do less, right? But when you were actually, the hardest I've ever worked is being unpaid, is being, you know what I mean? Making shillings. This is the next thing. Who is working harder than people who are literally, they are working? You know what I mean? Not like, oh my, like, I talk for a living, like even in the legal capacity when you think about it, you know what I mean? I'm smart, you're smart. There's a lot that you do on the front end, intellectually, school, yada, 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 but you speak for a lot of what, you know what I mean? People are really best. And I've been running my mouth since I was born. I was going to do that all the time. But people out there, they wake up, they are working. They are working. They got to deal with people. They have tasks in front of them. There's a whole day of, I'm like, what, can we be for real? This idea that people who have less are lazy is insane. Like there's any real correlation between like work and money. That the people, the communities that are in poverty have been in poverty for generations, working and toiling, trying to make their way out of it. But at the end of the day, you can't, if you're only given so much, you can't save with it, you can't build with it. You know what I mean? You're struggling to survive. The average American lives paycheck to paycheck. That's just reality. It ain't got nothing to do with how hard you work. I think you'd find that the people, you know, making the most money, you see what they doing. You see Elon Musk. You see them spontaneously combusting. You know he's not running Twitter. That much you know he's not doing. Ain't no employees there. There's no instruction, no roadmap, just vibes. Like he's not running Twitter. He's not doing anything else. The Tesla stock is down. The man don't be with his children. You know, no stable sense of anything with women. So is he working the hardest among us?
Not to mention, like, he tweets all the time. The amount of time he has to tweet.
I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. Hardworking people ain't what? Like, come on. Come. That's nuts.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and they think that people who are working hard are lazy because they're miserable. When they're miserable because it's not like the olden days when you can work really hard and advance in a job and actually get, you know, this middle class income. Now you're at the lower level and you're never getting out of it. You're always just a cog in the machine, and they want you to just be happy about that forever. In perpetuity, you're going to be working this shitty job, and they're mad that you don't have a big smile on your face. And it's so infuriating.
And importantly, that was never the olden days for Black people. You know what I mean? And like the most, like the actually most marginalized communities that most impoverished have been like that, and it's like that by design, socioeconomically. So it's interesting to have people that have never experienced think about, people talk about their childhoods, right? You ever see when, you know, they love the white person underdog story, which is like, you know, oh, their parents worked a couple jobs, they, you know, they grew up a little poor, now I'm rich, and they're telling you the story, their rags to richest white person story. But like, oh, the trials and tribulations of these not generational institutional poverty or whatever, this two people having one particular situation, and you feel like this is a come up, this is a story of the ages about how you rose out of that. Now imagine every generation dating back in your entire family lineage that you can actually keep track of, because you don't actually, how far can you actually go back in your history in a country that has destroyed it and, you know, people were enslaved? But you're going back so far, cycles and cycles and generational poverty, but you just feel like y'all are on the same, like your idea of how you're supposed to go about society and make money and what should be expected of you should be the same and it's comparable, and it's just all one. And it's just not. It just is not.
Yeah.
I've settled on McDonald's.
Oh,
you chose McDonald's.
Also
okay.
Good.
Yeah. Let us know what you're getting. I'm curious.
What's your order?
I have to judge you for what you order.
What you think I'm getting?
Okay, I think you're getting. Yeah, I was gonna say just the easiest is Big Mac. I think it's the number one.
I used to be a Big Mac girl. No, I'm getting a quarter pounder with cheese meal.
Oh, okay. Not too shabby. I used to be Big Mac, then crispy chicken, and then I haven't gone there in a really long time. Although I got French fries like over the summer when I was high, but other than that,
I stopped eating beef completely. So it's now just like fish or chicken for me. There was a time where I also stopped eating chicken. Actually, a long time. I just started recently again because I love chicken too much. And so when I would go to McDonald's, which would be rare at that point, it was the fish fillet, and it's just not.
Really?
It's just not worth going to McDonald's for a fish fillet.
Oh, the fish fillet. I would rather.
My girlfriend like really enjoys the fries, so we do only go because she wants the fries, right? And it's like, I want to eat something more than fries. I got a fish. Like, I'm amazed. At least here, there still isn't a veggie burger at McDonald's. It's like the only fast food place without a veggie burger. It's insane. I don't know how they have gone this long in Canada without a veggie burger, but they still don't have one.
Mike, McDonald's is not like to eat. If you eat at McDonald's, you have to have an honest conversation with yourself and leave that alone and discard that. Like, you know, you're killing yourself. You know, this is not McDonald's. McDonald's is not here to save you. McDonald's is walking you to the grave. Me myself, I walk after you. But my point is, you're supposed to know. And one thing I respect about McDonald's, like, no pretense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't even gonna pretend. A veggie burger is them trying to, like, that's manipulation. I feel like that's fraud. Like, that's
I'm telling you, okay, if you haven't had like a fake meat patty, like a Beyond Meat patty, in my opinion, it tastes better and I feel better after eating it, because that extra grease and shit isn't sitting in your stomach. Like, I feel way better. Like, if they had a Beyond Meat Big Mac, are you fucking kidding me? I would be there every week. Like,
Yeah,
because I
so
love Big
honestly,
Macs, but I can't eat. I
I
can't
can
do beef anymore.
I can't see the comments, but I hope that there are people calling this an unpopular opinion. Like I hate that
You
I
have to
hate that I
have
appear to
one.
be outnumbered, so there's nobody else here to be like, but y'all are sick and y'all not gonna just get that off and keep it pushing. Like, no, y'all aren't. Like,
no.
no.
So
I've said, look,
honestly,
I was once like
Burger King
you,
is now my
and I
main
had a
because of
Beyond
the
Meat burger, and
Impossible.
it's all changed. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, the Impossible Whopper that made Burger King my main, and
Yeah.
I haven't really gone back since. I haven't ordered anything but the Impossible Whopper because yeah, it's so different. Like for me, it tastes the same, and like David said, like you don't feel like shit. Like whenever I eat Burger King, I feel like there's like a brick sitting in my stomach, and
Yeah.
I take like a 12-pound shit. TMI, people. So I'm sorry, but like when you have an Impossible Whopper, like it feels better. Like you don't feel as terrible from fast food. So I've kind of switched as well. Like I'm not vegetarian or anything, but like I've been opting for more and more meatless options. And there's almost a substitute for everything now. There's really good chicken nuggets, chicken fillets now. By I think Morning Star does my favorite. Um, I just feel so much better eating it. I
I
don't
will
know.
say
I
though,
can't
when
do
it comes to
meat.
chicken, like that there are good chicken options for nuggets, especially because nuggets is like whatever. It's like fake anyways. But when it comes to like chicken wings, there's something I like chicken wings. I like the bone. Like I like all that shit. So there's no real replacement for a chicken wing because you can't really replace the chicken bone like this. So there's never a perfect replacement for that. But at the same time, if you want to go vegan now, like it's the easiest that it's ever been because of all the fake options. It's really easy to transition. Hopefully, like the goal eventually, if you're doing that, is to try to eat more vegetables. But the problem with me is that I was just like eating chips, and it wasn't making me healthier. It was making me less healthy because I was not eating meat, and then I was like filling myself with like Doritos, and that doesn't that isn't what you should be doing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like Burger King fries.
I've been trying to be more of an adult with my meals and have more of like a balanced diet, try to have like vegetables in every single meal, and it's really difficult because like that kind of takes time. And they have like these bags of steamed vegetables that you can just buy and pop in the microwave,
And they're
but
terrible.
it's still yeah. They taste soggy and gross and yeah. I've been trying to be a grown up though,
I
folks.
wish I
I
could
haven't
cook.
been over the holidays though. I've been terrible.
I'm not there yet. I'm not a cooking woman yet, but I'm working on it. And by working on it, I mean no, it's not in my tier 1 or tier 2 set of goals, but I am cognizant of it. as
It's
something
on
that
the agenda.
yeah, so like I must eventually get around to this. You know, I think makes it I just don't like grocery shopping or any part of it. Like
Me neither. I hate grocery shopping.
I hate it. I have 5 brothers and sisters, and that is a tribe of children. All right. And every single day of my life, my mom, every fucking day, we went to the food store. Every day we got to. I'm like, you don't understand. My mother is a lot. Okay, I could barely make eye contact with my mommy because she stressed me out, and I don't want her to see in my spirit how I feel. And there's just a whole production. I never liked it. Now you got 5, like everybody all over the place, da da da. You in there for forever, and then when you get home, my mommy, oh, everybody gotta lug the groceries and do a whole thing. And even if she didn't, even if you avoided the trip, like you weren't there when they went on the grocery trip, then she calls you on the way home, like I coming home now. I on the way home, come open the gate and come outside to come bring the groceries in. Oh my god, I fucking hate it, and I don't like. I have lived away. I have lived in America now for almost 15 years, and I'm not over. I feel like that has not been my everyday life in so long, but it feels just like it was. Like I hate it, and I hate it. You got to go to the grocery store, spend a bunch of money, bring the and then in New York City where it's not you got to walk everywhere and do everything in Uber places.
Mhm.
Now I got to go to the grocery store, buy up a bunch of groceries. Just first of all, I'm doing so much math in my head because I can't cook, so now I'm in there. What would people get? They would do a thing like this. What I should buy? Yeah, this blah blah blah. Then I gotta buy it, spend all the money, lug it home. Now I gotta put up the groceries. Then I gotta spend all time and labor making a little bit of food. Now I got dishes to clean, and then when I blink in 2-3 days, I need to buy the same exact groceries again. It's the ghetto. It's the pits. I hate it. It's trash.
And a lot of the time you throw out like vegetables and stuff because they go bad and you can't make them all because it's too much. Like comes at like a head of lettuce. Like you're not gonna eat all that lettuce and then it goes bad. So you're wasting money buying groceries. This is what I tell myself. It's like I could buy groceries or I could have a really good meal finished right now in 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
And waste no money because I'm eating the entire thing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel this. I feel this deeply. I don't. The cooking thing. Anyway, I'm gonna get around to it. I'm gonna work on it. My
Should
problem
we,
is I hold myself to a generous standard. Oh, we should talk about Andrew Tate.
yeah, I was going to say, should we get into Andrew Tate?
Yeah, I know that everyone
So
is itching
who wants
for
to
us
intro
talk
this? Because
about him.
I read a bit about it, but I don't know. Maybe I missed some things.
You didn't see? Okay. So mind you, I have no bunch of back information on him, but I know yesterday's events to today's events because I just discovered him. He's my white person of the week that I didn't know. I had like tangentially heard about the name, and then I was like, this seems to be a problem. I don't want to take this on, and I just didn't investigate. Anyhow, so the climate girl, the climate activist, right, Greta.
Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, so he starts fucking with Greta online, just clout chasing,
Randomly.
and that's fucking and by his own admission in the very corny video that he subsequently goes to put on, he does a whole little piece about how he's actually the winner because by engaging with him, his social media is getting so much more attention. And I'm like, not you just out here admitting to clout chasing unprovoked, you snitching on yourself unprovoked. So based on his own admission, he was clout chasing, bothering Greta. And he puts up, like, I think a picture of him in some cars. And he was like, oh, I have all these cars. These cars put out all these emissions. You want to email me something? Can I email you something about the cars? Like, trying to flex. And Greta was basically like, yeah, email me at smalldickgetafuckinglife.com. Like, it was like
smalldickenergy@getalife.com or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he gets fucking ratioed. Okay.
Into oblivion. I just checked, by the way, before he went on. It's at 3 million likes. Greta's response is at 3 million likes. So this might be the biggest ratio ever.
Listen, love it. Excellent. Chef's kiss. So he gets, and this is how I see in this. This man, this grown ass individual went and put on a fucking robe, got 2 boxes of pizza, and the pizza is very important. The pizza is going to come into play in a significant way, right? So it's 2 boxes of Jerry's pizza sitting right there. So he puts on this very sassy robe, and then he gets his cigar, and he puffs the cigar, and he's like, ooh, letting out these emissions, because, like, he owned Greta, right? So then he starts, this man starts explaining why Greta is the enemy. So he says that this girl thinks that she's doing God's work, but the poor little lamb is confused, essentially. He said she's trying to convince your government to tax you into poverty in order to save the sun. That's very important. Like, we have to stop right there. That right there, let's stop. I don't appreciate the ability for us to just glide past that, because why, how, who, and when the fuck, how does he believe that, like, the climate crisis is about doing the sun some favors? Sir,
He must know he's full of shit, right? Like, this is not his actual beliefs.
Oh, yeah.
He has to know.
I know he knows he's full of shit. Like, obviously, like, you could see a loser. Like, losers know that they're losers. You can see it in the soul, real insecure, down bad, chasing behind, bartering with a 19-year-old girl, like, admittedly cloud chasing, ball as ever, just all kind of issues, right? Like, the man, obviously, that goes without saying. But I actually think that that's his understanding of the climate crisis. Like, I think because clearly he only skimmed whatever they assigned him. He skimmed it, right? Like, you see the bullet points. He's seeing sun. He saw sun.
We got to save the sun.
He saw the workers got it. And he was like, not this bitch want us to be out here and be sun warriors. First of all, that right there is the funniest shit to me. Like, he might as well told me he don't believe dinosaurs was real. Like, sir, bro, the sun's trying to fuck you up. No one's trying to protect the sun, bro. We're trying to protect us, bro. There's a whole, like, dog. I, like, fuck being a scientist, right? Like, this isn't, I'm not going to have an intellectual scholarly discussion. I could, but this is what I'm going to say. Did you feel the sun this summer? Did you feel it? Did you feel it? Because I thought I was gonna die. Okay, I said whatever layer there used to be, it's not fucking there no more. It's gone. It's gone. This is heat. Like the heat this summer was so fucking violent. I felt irresponsible. Like, you know, like I felt going outside in the sun felt like the equivalent of starting my day doing hard drugs. Like, I'm like, wow, like that's crazy. Like, you would go out here and willingly get fucking melanoma fucking around with this sun hitting you directly, no filter. That's how I was giving it up. And this man out here talking about, oh, they trying to get you to protect the sun.
We gotta make it stronger. It's not hot enough.
Somebody in the comments says that apparently he said to stop the sun from being hot. Greta wants you to get your government to stop the sun from being hot. I mean, to even say that, like, he just is deeply stupid. Somebody else also pointed out that he is apparently against reading, and so that anyone who reads is, like, I guess, weak or something like that. One thing that I have to comment on is he did a bunch of, like, quote tweets in response to Greta Thunberg, and a bunch of them got really creepy. I actually have them on my phone. I'll read them for you. But one thing that I didn't realize until today is that he directly responded to her, and his first response to her in response to saying that he has small dick energy was, "How dare you?" Like, that was his actual response. So, like, you can tell she hit a pressure point. Like, she hit him on his biggest insecurity. And, like, he's super transparent. He's one of those individuals where you can just tell he has low self-esteem. And he should have low self-esteem. Like, he is a loser. He acts like a loser. I also found out, because I'm one of these people who was previously ignorant to Andrew Tate, that he has music videos. And
I know you're fucking lying.
He has music videos, and he is a rapper.
What? And you fucking lying, Mike.
They are exactly as you would imagine it.
Is it recent? Like recent stuff? Or like,
I don't
like in
know
his past?
how recent. Within like a year or so. So this is like him in his current like state. Like, it looks relatively recent. I don't know the date. And he has multiple music videos. And he has somebody on the hook with auto-tune. It's really, like, it's its own thing. Like, it's a whole rabbit hole that we have to go into. But I got to get to the tweet that he sent. Or basically what he said in response to Greta Thunberg. So, like, somebody said that she just needs... what is it that they said in particular? Let me see here.
It's 1 or 6. She just needs some good dick, or
that's
like,
basically.
Y'all need to just go ahead and stop flirting, go ahead and fuck. And he was like, she ain't ready.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she's a 19-year-old. Like, keep in mind, like, I thought she was not that old yet.
So she's
like,
too young for him, basically.
She's a little kid. Yeah.
Because he's like, isn't that why he was arrested now? Because he's been.
Yeah, human trafficking.
Yeah.
Apparently. There's rape allegations as well. So that's basically why everybody is talking about him. So we're kind of getting to that now. He was arrested in Romania because there were multiple women who were being held against their will. He was forcing them, him and his brother, and I believe there's other suspects as well, 2 other suspects, were allegedly forcing these women to produce pornography under the threat of violence if they did not. And they were putting that up on OnlyFans. And some of these women were there under false pretenses. One of the girls was a U.S. citizen. And the reason why they got tipped off to this was because she contacted her ex, who then contacted the authorities. I think maybe like the U.S. Embassy or whatnot. But the biggest reason why he is currently in jail right now is because of this beef with Greta. I know that Olayami, you like alluded to this. So do you wanna get to that?
The fucking Jerry's Pizza Box. They gone and look up the Romanian authorities. Look up the Greta. They look up the Jerry's Pizza Box. Realize it's within a certain mile radius from where he's staying, and they track him from him putting the damn pizza in there. That's how they got him.
That's amazing. His attempt at like dunking on her got him arrested. It was so bad. It was bad. It was so bad just by itself, but it was even worse because it got him to get arrested. It's amazing.
So I have
it's an amazing
tweet
story.
From Alejandra Caraballo pointed this out. Roman authorities needed proof that Andrew Tate was in the country, so they reportedly used his social media posts. His ridiculous video yesterday featured a pizza from a Romanian pizza chain, Jerry's Pizza, confirming he was in the country. So because he confirmed that he was in the country in this video where he was dunking on Greta Thunberg, that's what got him arrested. It's just, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful story.
No, I love it. It's absolutely excellent. Personally, I'm like, I love that. I found out about him yesterday, and he's in jail today.
You have power.
He's one of these guys that I've like actively avoided talking about or thinking about, like reading, because of the little that I did see. He's too much asshole for me to deal with. Like like typically, like, you know, the news cycle, I deal with like whoever assholes in politics. He's like 3 assholes in one, and it's too much for like because I do this shit every day. There are certain stories, certain events, certain people that I'm just like, you know what? I don't need to do that. Everyone else is doing that. They can do that. This is too much for me to handle. This guy's too much of a fucking asshole. So I'm glad now that hopefully the story's over and there's no reason to ever cover him again because he's now arrested.
No, and shoots. Listen, I don't feel like those authorities gonna play with him because they rounded his ass up quick with the quickness. They said, wait a second, somebody got his pin. Drop the pin. Drop the pin. You're gonna get him right now.
I mean, yeah, these are not like anything to fuck around. Like, these are serious charges. I wasn't sure how deep you all wanted to go into this, but I did want to address a tertiary character in the Andrew Tate cinematic universe. Another individual who I recently found out about, a dickhead I wish I hadn't known. His name is Aiden Ross, and he kind of went viral recently because he didn't know what fascism was. And there's
I've covered
a clip
him
of
before all this, actually, like a year ago.
Have you really? Okay, I did not know about him prior to that clip of him. Before, he was apparently gonna bring on Ye, and
What's his name?
Adin, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he comes from esports, I believe.
Okay.
When I covered him because I had actually Matt Bender was on the show. He was doing a crypto. So Aiden Ross was like selling some fake crypto bullshit.
Of
It was like one of those pump and dump schemes. So he was one of a few people that were doing this in that esports scene. So I had Bender on to talk about that. But yeah, so it's not surprising that the same individual, you know, was going to talk to Andrew like this. People like this, it's amazing to me that they're able to, first of all, even develop a sort of like fan base. Like, I get if you're good in esports, you're good, whatever. But then to continue keeping that fan base while you're clearly an asshole, like, and you've screwed your own supporters by telling them to buy this crypto trash, this shit coin, and then they lose money. At least whoever invested loses money. Like, how do you maintain a support base after you knowingly screw your own people to make yourself money?
I'll tell you how. Because, and all jokes aside, it's because he's a loser and he appeals to other losers, right? But like, he's living out the fantasy that they want. It's the same way, like, when you think about it, right? You ever see somebody like they are a loser and they start performing a personality that you know is not theirs? You can see that they're insecure. Everybody sees it and it's real corny. But if one of them is able to become successful at it, to actually appear to, they're gonna give that the love because they're living vicariously through that. They can see themselves in that guy. If that guy who because they know deep down they could see it. They could see what we all see. They know, and they resonate with that. You know what I mean? That's what makes them, feel, connected to him. So they like to see that guy win, and that's a part of it's for them. It's not really so much about him, but it's what they've projected onto him. Like, oh, so it doesn't surprise me. But let me tell you what does surprise me. This Aiden Ross character, I have to address the first tweet I see on his page. He said, "Nah, I ain't gonna lie though. Joe Biden, please go ahead and pardon Andrew Tate. Donald Trump would have been on it already. Unfortunately, I did this because that's the yawn emoji he used. Unfortunately, Trump clears you, Sleepy Joe." And the tweet is, by the way, as I'm looking at it, the shit getting more likes and retweets. And that is a dangerous thing about America's education system. And that's something, no. This country goes around acting like a world power, parading over everybody, first world nation.
Joe Biden, president of Romania. I didn't realize.
Joe Biden, please go ahead and pardon Andrew Tate. Like,
A British citizen.
like, why didn't they leave you behind? What is going on? You clearly need more. Like, you need more assistance, okay? 'Cause
Are there American laws that he broke? Maybe there's some. Is there any truth to that at all? Like, or is it just what he did in Romania that's why he's captured?
I mean, I don't know if I don't know enough about him to really speak on this, honestly, but like,
Yeah.
he's not being charged with breaking federal laws. So like, there's no way that Biden would be able to pardon him, even if he wanted to. But it's not like Aiden Ross is just like reading this news story and reacting. This is somebody who knows Andrew Tate. So recently, there's a photo that is hilarious going around that looks like a porn screenshot, where it's a photograph of Andrew Tate wearing a robe with like his chest exposed, and then you have Aiden Ross on the side. He's sitting there like in a kind of a submissive looking position, and he's like,
Yeah.
like, I don't know if you've seen this photograph, but it is the funniest
It's
shit
a
ever, because you
hilarious
have two supposed alpha males, and it looks extremely gay. Not to sound homophobic, but like these are folks who would never want to be perceived to be like effeminate or gay, and this photo is the gayest shit I've seen. And like, I saw people joking about how there should be like a Brazzers or like a Sean Cody logo in like the corner, because it looks like the thumbnail for a gay porn video, and it's fucking hilarious. Just because when you know about them and you know the context that these are like incel alpha male bullshitters, it makes it that much funnier. I don't know like what to search for, but I just keep seeing it on Twitter, and it's hilarious every time I see it.
Yeah, it's a great photo. I've seen that photo.
It's a Vosh thumbnail now. Somebody says, Roller Dragon says.
He kind of looked like a CVS Prime Voldemort. Like, that's what I know. Like, the more I look at him, like knock off Sorcerer's Stone Voldemort too. Like Voldemort at his worst, like on the back of Professor Quirrell head.
Oh, I love it. And this dude is so thin-skinned too. So he threatened Ethan Klein with a cease and desist because Ethan Klein was talking about the alleged human trafficking that he was being accused of. And there was already ample evidence before he was actually arrested, but like, he actually sent the cease and desist to Ethan Klein. And I don't know if he's like one of these free speech absolutists, but it wouldn't surprise me. But you can tell that this dude, he's so insecure. He has so many insecurities. And the only people who don't see through that are like really young boys, like adolescents, like young virgins who don't have any friends, who are lonely. But everyone else can see through him. He's incredibly transparent. He has low self-esteem. He has a low IQ. He's corny. He has no talent whatsoever, evidenced by not just like what he says in his videos, but his music videos themselves.
I want to circle back to that when you're done.
Mm-hmm,
Is it possible his fans like just they like the character? Like they know he's, I don't know, not real,
it's that,
but they like
but it's also
yeah. Like
it's
the
also
cigars
he
and
has
everything.
basically Hustler University also, so they think that there's like this financial ties with him where they can make money from him. And I don't know what Hustler University is. He was debating Hassan, and Hassan challenged him like, is this an MLM? Like, what exactly is this? So I think that they not only look to him as like a role model, and they think that he's cool or something, or their perception of somebody who's cool and gets laid all the time, but I also think that they believe that he can help them get rich in a way. So he's kind of taken advantage of them, to my understanding, although I don't want to speak like out of turn, because again, I learned about him like a week or so. Well, I shouldn't say that, like a couple of months ago, but like this week is when I really like did my research, and I wish I didn't.
My understanding is that a lot of what he sells is sort of like, well, I guess part is like just basic self-help shit, and then the other part is I don't know if this is accurate. This is what I've heard. Buying a lot of an item and just selling it for more than like doing like what Walmart does, I guess. Just like buying a lot of shit online and then selling it because you bought it in bulk, sell it at, a higher cost, and then you make money that way. I guess people on eBay do that shit. Like it seems like a really basic just money making scheme. And that's what I don't know. Last I heard, he has like a lot of people that subscribe to him that get this, that want this knowledge.
And he charges too, doesn't he? Like he charges a lot for.
I think so, yeah.
His like advice or whatever, like his Hustler University.
if people want to be conch shells, you have to just let them be conch shells. Like at the end of the day, that's just what it is. At the end of the day, it's them. What they want to feed into that. It could blow them. But in the Bahamas, there's a thing we say is basically eat up yourself, right? Like you only eating up yourself. Like you only gonna harm you. And at the end of the day, men like that, right? They're, like your whole aim, even though all you're doing is pandering to other insecure men, that's all you're doing. That's into your entire base. That is the bubble that you're in. The end of the day, your entire objective is to get bitches, and bitches you have none. You see what I'm saying? Like you see no one amongst you. Like no. That
he claims he does though.
Right, but you notice how he's being charged with a litany of crimes of someone who is trying to force bitches.
Yeah, trying to keep them in the house. Exactly.
Right? That doesn't, right? Somebody being charged with a litany of kidnapping bitches, trafficking bitches, assaulting bitches, just obviously. You see what I'm saying? It's the actual what the truth is, the life they're living, and which is what we're gonna find. Which is what makes it dangerous, obviously. By the way, the kind of mentality and the kind of sentiments that he's fostering. Because all jokes aside, what he's doing is endangering women. That's what. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Because all this anger, all this fest, all this pent up. Look at how upset. Like when you think about it, the level of production he did, because he unprovoked, he made an executive decision, and in his mind, he like, let me go. I'm gonna go in. I'm going to, tweet at this girl because I want to get attention. I want to get engagement, because he pictured it going differently. And then when a 19-year-old beats you in a ratio, you spend a day figuring me get the right robe. Make sure y'all get the pizza, please get the lighting. Make sure the cameraman, if you stand right here, could you get me my best daddy cigar? Hand that to me and pose me right here. And let me tell y'all how it's the bots. It's the bots. It was the bots, bro.
I saw that. Yeah, he was retweeting all the copium.
He was like, it was the bots. It was a bot farm. Like, and I Elon Musk, and they have to stop doing that. Like, that's really embarrassing, because even if you thought in your heart it is, you don't never say it's the bots when all your stupid shit you saying getting all these likes, right? Like we clearly everybody hates you, Elon Musk, but any tweet he puts out gets 100,000, all these da 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 da. You never think it's the bots then, but the minute they get ratioed, it's the bots. How do you know? Is there a special tweet notification you get that said, "Ooh, bots"? Bots ODing right now, like
especially when you own the platform. Like you can't complain about bots. When you said you would get rid of the bots that apparently are only there when there's a response on a poll you don't like it's just it's so blatant. I don't know how they even have the guts to like put something so telling out there. Like they're telling on themselves with these fucking tweets. Like but I think it's like, I don't know, they have that base of support that doesn't give a shit, that likes them because they're fucking assholes, and that's what they live for, is appealing to the lowest common denominator. And that as long as those people are there and they're getting attention, they're satisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's absurd. These people, they're very deeply embarrassing. But at the end of the day, they know. That's why it's an echo chamber. The loudest Elon Musk fans, all the trolls, all of these kinds of people, the Andrew Tate people are really right. You see them in the droves on the internet behind accounts that they can't even claim and put their name on. And this, at the end of the day, they know, they are aware on some larger conscious level that what they are saying and espousing is not consistent with what, the average person in society would consider a general way for you to like think and believe and go about your day, because they're not giving it up like that. You're not having the kind of things which you're seeing from the trolls and the people that support these people viciously online. Has anybody attacked you recently in real life for not being a big fan of Elon? Even when people like, oh, they don't realize they hate him or they don't hate him or something. Are you knowing people just going out in droves ready to fight you about Elon Musk or Andrew Tate? And no, because even if they wanted to, they know that's not an okay way to act. They know that's not a popular opinion. That's why they do these things. That's why their base has the ability to look like bots. That's what upsets them so much, right? Is like that's why the right hates Twitter. Like that's the deep passion they hate about Twitter, I think, in general. Because on a lot of the other social medias, what they have, or even with their experiences on Twitter, their support never looks real. Like even on YouTube or places where like, oh, it's all right, it looks looks like bots. Is you never see real. How often do you see real people, real faces, real people willing to claim the kind of shit? Because that's what the real extremists are. As much as they try to paint it as though the left and right are equivalent extremes or something, that's not the case. Because why the left got their face and their name on it? You know exactly what the fuck you're talking about with the left, but y'all are just a bunch of anonymous trolls and quiet things because y'all know with the real radical opinion, you can't keep your job and you can't just be at the PTA meeting, you can't just be in the community shit, because people don't want to be around that kind of bigotry in actuality. Most of the country ain't with the shits like that, as much as they would like to believe and pretend it to be. But I think that's what you really seeing with them online, and that's why they get upset, because like on Twitter, you can see the left has like, oh, the left has all this, support and this and all these people espousing this and intellectuals and people with credentials, and you could see who this people is, and this. So the support feels real. It's the reason why, they'll be so upset, even though if you go on anything, if you think of like the shows I've been on are like Rising, they hate me on YouTube by 100%, 100% of the comments, 100% of them hate me, and they still be like feverishly mad that on Twitter it's all, I'm getting love, because the love looks real on Twitter, because you can see real people, real professionals, real people you respect. But there's a bunch of damn people who can't claim this shit in real life, a bunch of trolls, a bunch of bots. That's what they really are upset about, because Twitter and the internet and stuff exposes that. That's what it is. Yeah, it's an embarrassment.
Those other platforms too are largely siloed, right? Like YouTube channels it's the community within those comments. Whereas Twitter, because it's the most like egalitarian style social media platform there is, in terms of everybody is there. You're all going to see each other's posts. You can interact with each other. You can see responses both from left and right. So there's a lot more engagement there. And as you said, that showcase is out in the real world in terms of people are actually like the majority of people aren't pieces of shit based on what we've seen, who gets ratioed, that kind of thing. Right. Like
even if it's not a vast majority. I don't want to be too generous.
Yeah, sure, not a vast majority.
I would vast majority. I say it's like 49 and 51.
But it's still enough to like ratio Andrew Tate as opposed to Greta Thunberg being ratioed. So like it's when there's an asshole out there, they get exposed on Twitter, but they can be in their own communities on Facebook. The algorithm on Facebook is terrible. On Facebook, on YouTube, they can be in their own place, but they can't hide on Twitter.
Yeah, Instagram comments are a cesspool as well. Yes, very much so. That's the smoke. That's why they really don't like Twitter, because that's where all the people who like to read and write be. Like, you know what I mean? All the people are like, "Woo, that thing you just said." Coincidence that I just read 15 books on it. It'd be a shame if I wrote a whole thread right now debunking that bullshit you said. That's why they don't like it.
Well, the playing field is truly level on Twitter, and you can't say that about every other platform. Like you really are equal. Like celebrities get to see the people who talk shit about them in real time. Rich people get to see that. So, it breaks that whole illusion that they're just universally loved. But one thing that you said, Olayami, is
just say Oleg and make your life easy, Mike. I don't know why you're just stressing yourself out. Just say Oleg. Go ahead, free yourself.
Well, it's not that difficult, so that's why it's irritating to me that I keep fucking it up. I know, I keep fucking it up. But no, one thing that you said about how that's why we put our names on it compared to like the right. It made me think of Chaya Raichik of Libs of TikTok, who unveiled her face on Tucker Carlson's program. And like within an hour or so, Chad Loder had identified her as being at the January 6th insurrection. And like this is immediately after she revealed her face, and there's a whole article that he broke down the evidence for. So the ring that she wore on her fourth finger on her left hand on Tucker, she wore it at the Capitol insurrection. There's so this is why they can't like show their faces, why they have to be anonymous, because I mean when they reveal themselves, nobody wants to be around that. And what I love is that during the Tucker Carlson interview, she said that prior to her Libs of TikTok activism, where she bragged about getting like a dozen teachers fired, she said that she wasn't a political person. She never really followed politics, but yet she was at the January 6th insurrection, allegedly. I mean, it's not confirmed beyond a shadow of a doubt, but the evidence is pretty persuasive.
Ayo, whatever they say she did that shit. Okay, man. Listen. She did that shit.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah,
whole
no.
conversation was mad. Like I saw bits and pieces, and like this is what I don't understand either. How are they How are they going to win with their argument? Their argument being, or at least her argument being, that all gay people are predators and they're all it's gone too far, or whatever. That, like, they're arguing that people that are within the LGBTQ community are predators, bad people. How do you win with that argument in what is going to be the year 2023? Like, how do
Yeah.
you win over? They just lose the midterms by focusing so much on anti-trans propaganda? Like, how do you double
I
down
think
on this and think you're going to win?
I think
Unless
Yeah,
the
she said
point
it's a
isn't to win, it's
cult.
just to, like, I don't know.
exactly. It's a bing. This is the fundamental difference between Democrats and Republicans, or the right. Let's just say the right.
Mm.
They don't give a fuck about what the rest of us talking about and what the larger society wants, what's in the better. They don't give a fuck about nothing like that. Like, in it for bigotry or whatever you think about evil, they just be rebranding evil to you. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, you know why they're gonna continue to try and push homophobia? Because they hate, they're homophobic. They have never stopped pushing homophobia. That has been their agenda. They've just continued to find new ways, which is why when they realize, okay, we can't actually, the rhetoric, the world has shifted. Media has allowed for more of this. People are more exposed. The tides have turned in what is social popular opinion. So then, sorry. Um, so then, Lord, I didn't let the man in. Hold on, let me see if it cut off. Okay, so then what they start doing is they start trying to prevent you from having access to other kinds of information that changes people's opinion. That's what they do. And then they try to find when that's why they start banning books. That's why they start using these accounts. Let's switch the tides on this. Let's make y'all hate this. Let's deny all your access to these kinds of information. Let's prevent teachers from exposing you to a different kind of world. Let's do that. And when we can't, when we feel like that's not foolproof, what we're going to do is we're going to use the Supreme Court, and we're going to get these people, and we're just going to get them to say, fuck what y'all, we don't get the majority of the country polled and they like it.
Yeah. Not to mention gerrymandering as well. Like, steal elections through gerrymandering. Like,
exactly.
Mhm. Yeah, one thing that was interesting to me about her interview is she said like a bunch of ridiculous things like LGBTQ plus people are in a cult and they're evil. But one thing that she said was very revealing. She said that they're trying to recruit people because what they're selling is alluring. This is like, I'm paraphrasing. And so like she just inadvertently outed herself.
yeah, kind of
And
telling on
after
yourself
she
there.
said that, yeah, people pulled up tweets that she made towards Taylor Lorenz and I don't want to date you. Like, now, after watching that interview and seeing the evidence that people have presented on Twitter, it's very clear that Chaya Raichik is a 6 on the Kinsey scale. Like, she is a lesbian, and that's why she's so fixated on it. Because, like, I just don't understand how people can fixate on other people. Like, some of these bigots, like Chaya Raichik and Matt Walsh, they think about homosexuality more than me, and I'm literally married to a man. Like, I just don't get how it occupies your brain that much. So there's got to be something else going on there. And that's not to say that, like, people can't just be bigoted and every single bigot is also, this closeted homosexual. But in the case of Chaya Raichik, I think that she essentially let it be known that she's dealing with something internally. And I don't have the best gaydar, but I'm confident that she's probably a lesbian. And like in 10 years, she's going to do an about face and say she's sorry. This is her wife. And she's trying to atone for the things that she's done. She opened up an LGBTQ plus youth center. Save a clip of this and come back to it in like 10 years. Mark my words.
No, I completely believe you, because that's very much so a thing. Like, y'all know Lil Boosie?
I know. I've heard that name.
Dang, okay.
Yes.
Look, finally I can introduce y'all to black people y'all didn't know about.
I know Lil Boosie.
That don't want to know and are just like, well, okay, Mike's here, but David, I got you. Lil Boosie is the rapper responsible for Wipe Me Down. That is his biggest apple, Wipe Me Down. Okay, so anyway, Lil Boosie makes it his business. Like, every time Lil Nas X breathes, like, Lil Nas X cannot walk a fucking step. If he think Lil Nas X crack a smile, that motherfucker is online screaming. He is doing a Vlad interview. But in one of those, like, he's constantly attacking Lil Nas X. I mean, all the time. But in one interview, he's like, he's on a rant, and he's saying that Lil Nas X there is not right because there are all these young boys struggling or trying to be straight, trying trying.
Oh my God.
Great.
You can't give it away any more than that.
It's just absurd the way people just slide by confessions. Like, you see what I'm saying? I'm like, why don't you, like, and that's the thing in life very often. That's just because I think the reason why it's not even just, that, because they're, bigots or they're homophobic, that it means this. No, very often in life, though, the people that people, they hate on, or they just arbitrarily dislike, or they go after and they just stalk them. The thing they usually resent is some quality in that person that resonates with something in them and how they are going about dealing with it. That's usually it. It's a larger projection, and that's just about anything, most things, So in the same way it translates here, they are struggling and battling with their own internal shit, and they cannot fucking stand to see other people not live in the same, not impose the same glass ceiling on themselves, not, put themselves in the closet, not feel confined by these societal expectations and these gender norms. And so, you know what it makes them? A fucking hater. A hater. And let me tell you something. They need to update the 10 Commandments, because I swear you're going to hell for being a hater. I know it in my heart. I know it in my heart you're going to hell for being a hater. Like, it's not in the Bible, but you going to hell for being a hater. Like, you know what it is? Don't covet your neighbor, hating ass bitches. Like, that's
especially if you have like a platform and you can impact other people and impact culture. Absolutely. Like, you're a bad person if you're someone like lives a TikTok, or Lil Boozy doing this too. Like, people that actively are encouraging hate of others because of who they are. And clearly, I think a lot of the times they don't even really realize it. They've probably grown up in households that were very bigoted, very anti-gay, so they never felt that like they could even like think of the idea of being that person. But internally they are, and they're struggling with it. Whether they realize it or not, they're struggling with it, and they assume that other boys are also having issues trying to be straight, and it's like, maybe, but only because they're in households like you are in, grew up with all this bigotry around you.
And Boozy is a sicko. Like, Boozy paid, looking up for the specifics, but Boozy paid basically for some strippers to like rape his like teenage son for like a birthday. Like, I've sex with a,
Jesus.
Like, yeah,
Good
like,
God.
proudly told the interview, yeah, like, I gonna make him a man. He's a sicko. Ew.
That shows like a deep-seated fear of like, I better start this early and like make him do this now before he questions his sexuality like I do. Like, that's again projection. Like, it's
and it's sick.
and people like Steven Crowder, who dresses up as a girl, all like he looks for every opportunity possible to dress up like a woman, and he's super anti-trans. It's like, dude, like I don't know, maybe
Crowder?
question what you're doing here.
His gender dysphoria is palpable.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell.
Who that?
Steven Crowder.
He's
another one
you
of
have to look
these
on your phone.
right-wing fuckheads.
He's another one of like Ben Shapiro kind of people. Like, he's just a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's probably worse than Ben Shapiro,
Yeah,
but not
he is.
as bad as Matt Walsh. Like, he's mid in terms of like level of just straight evilness. But there's like a bunch of photographs of him in drag, and you can tell that he's like genuinely comfortable in his own skin when he's in drag. Like, he's posing, like he's kind of freaking it, and he's enjoying himself. And like, anytime there's an opportunity for him to dress in drag to like prove how gay people are predators or whatever the fuck point he's trying to make, he does it, and you can tell he really enjoys dressing in women's clothing. So it's like, some of these people, they're so obvious, and that it is a trope for good reason. Like, a lot of people who are struggling with internal homophobia, like, they project that outward so you don't suspect it. But like, even myself, like as a teenager, I was like the most homophobic person imaginable, like throwing around slurs, and it was literally because I was struggling with my own sexual orientation. But as I got older, still closeted, I realized I'm a little bit too obvious. Like, you can't, you're trying to oversell it. And that's what these folks like Steven Crowder, Lil Boozy, Chaya Raichik, they don't realize that they're overselling it. Like, most people don't care this much. Like, I think that the average homophobe is probably just like, ugh. But like, when you go above and beyond to demonize, to do stochastic terrorism, you just give away the game at that point. And how many of these, like, there's actually a website that's keeping track. I think it's gayhomophobe.com, that chronicles all the gay preachers, really big, like Anita Bryant types, who were either running gay conversion therapy clinics or were preaching hate. that came out and did an about face and said, I'm so sorry for what I did. I'm so sorry for conversion therapy. And like, how many of these folks are going to do that? Although I've got to say, like, when it comes to individuals like Steven Crowder, we may never see an about face from him just because there's money to be made there. Same with Chaya Raichik. But if she truly has a conscience, which I don't believe she does, then in 10 years, we will see the about face. We'll meet her wife. And you can tell, like, this woman, it's sad that she actually does have an opportunity to be successful in right-wing media, because seeing her in person and not just reading the tweets, she's not only just inarticulate, she's very inarticulate. She's like very boring. And like, she's corny as fuck. Like, one moment stood out to me just because it like was so banal. She was talking about Taylor Lorenz, who she's obsessed with Taylor Lorenz, by the way, and claims that Taylor Lorenz is obsessed with her. But she said, oh yeah, Taylor Lorenz, who I call Tay Tay, and or no, who also known as Tay Tay. And Tucker Carlson said, well, who calls her that? And she's like, well, I do. Like, it was so original. It's like, how is that original? Her name is Taylor and you call her Tay Tay, and that's like some kind of a fucking own. Like, it's like, I don't understand. Like, these people are not creative at all. They're so corny. But yeah, that stood out to me just because it was such an L for her to reveal her face, because I mean, you can't really cash in on the grift if you're going to remain anonymous. Like, if you want to be the news anchor, you've got to show your face. But to be exposed like that as being at the January 6th insurrection, oh, it's beautiful. Like, these people are fucking losers. And I don't know if you all have been following this story, to kind of segue into a different thing. So I kind of want to play a quick game of Christmas trivia with you all. I'm going to read trivia. 2 tweets. Christmas or post-Christmas trivia, New Year's trivia now. So I saved the tweet on my phone because I wanted to share this with you guys. I feel like you'll be able to guess who this is. This is 2 different tweets from the same person, okay? So 9/11 claimed my mother's life, so I'm blocking so I don't ever have to read this again. So this is a response to someone else about 9/11. Another tweet, December 23rd this year, marks 5 years I lost my best friend and mentor. Mom, you will live forever in my heart. This was posted on December 21st. The other one was July 21st.
Is this lying ass Santos?
Yeah. So his mom died of 9/11, in 9/11, and also 5 years ago, as of the 21st, 2021. Sorry. And so I saw that, and that set me off on like this huge rabbit hole where I had to find out more about this guy. This motherfucker lied about literally every aspect of his life.
This is a pathological liar. Like, he obviously is. That he can't not lie.
Like white people
it's
can
crazy.
do anything, and it's so like people like they dispute white privilege when shit like this exists. Like, that's what I think when I'm watching like Inventing Anna and the Tinder Swindler. Like, do you fucking think anybody lets me tell them anything unverified? like that's it's absurd. Like, yo, like, whiteness will let you could lie about every fucking thing. Like, at that point, you just lying for shits and gigs. Like, you just trying it out. Like, oh,
he's just fucking with people.
He has to be at home. Like, yo, I wonder if they're gonna let me get this shit off. Oh, they let me get this shit off.
Yeah, it's like a rush or something. It's like I wonder if I can win an election lying all this much. And it's like, yes, you can.
I honestly, I can't even take it on because, like, I blame whoever saw him, like, because I never seen him. I've never seen him. I've never heard his name.
Same.
I've never seen nothing. I know nothing. Like, I will not be held responsible for why this wasn't discovered. I didn't know. If I had seen the video that I seen of that man talking, I'd have been like, y'all fucking with me. Y'all fucking with me. This is a sketch comedy because ain't no fucking way. My man, I was actually legitimately flabbergasted. Like, that's what I tweeted. I am flabbergasted. I was at a loss for words. I couldn't expound. I seen tweets from the man being like, first of all, he doesn't just pretend that he is like the member of different communities. No, he pretends that he is a member of the historical tragic event that happened. And my man was like, you know what it is to say that, like, he can't even say, I saw the little, I'm Jew-ish. You know what I mean?
It's amazing.
He said his grandparents were Holocaust survivors. Your grandparents are your parents.
Yeah.
You can't, sweetie, what? You was a liar, a deceiver, a cheater, a heartbreaker, and I won't let you tell these kind of lies. What are you talking about? Then I saw a tweet and be like, I am biracial. They said, what kind of biracial? And he said, black and white. Like one parent's black, one.
Aren't they from Brazil? Isn't he like? That's his background.
That man is an actor. You don't know where he is from. You don't know him. That is the man of many faces. You don't know that's Arya Stark.
Well, I think he was, speaking of Brazil, wasn't he charged with fraud or committed fraud in Brazil? Like to say that he lied about his identity, that's like the biggest thing that's being like talked about right now. But he also lied about where he went to college. There's no records of the college he went to. He said he worked at Goldman Sachs. He didn't work at Goldman Sachs. Now there's suspicion about whether or not he's really even gay, because
he got divorced like 3 years ago.
If I
From
say
a woman.
right. Walmart, they check it. Like you hear the kind of he's not going small with these lies. You know, he going big. Like he going big. Like going big. Like you realize that no one made a fucking call, not one call. Nobody asked for a reference letter, an email, a proof. They didn't ask for a picture, a resume, a cover letter. Like just long lies, no nothing. Bro, I could not. If I tweeted right now and was like, I work at Walmart on the corner of such and such and da 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 da. By morning they'd be like, a lie me is a liar. We've been trying to tell y'all this is a lying bitch. That bitch be at Target. She never even been to Walmart. Like they would know. But this man, he's successful. If you to lie about everything, like at that point you gotta say fuck him. Like it ain't even about him. We gotta talk about what kind of society. Like come on, with these institutions and these structures really are. That's what I keep saying. These things are not prestigious because they're truly about like that they're high quality or talent or who's getting through the door, son. It'd be about it's white people schmoozing and talking the right shit. My man just was like, well, I'm gonna talk your game. He went in there, but nothing but the gift of gab. He said, I'm gonna go in here with whiteness a dream and gab, son. And he fucking did it, yo. You gotta, honestly, like, now they gotta understand. They gotta get him the fuck up out of there. They do. But as the comedic genius in my soul, that's fucking hilarious. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Like, do you realize when you think about it, Suits is fucking crazy, right? Because my boy is out here pretending to be a lawyer. Oh, da da da. That's one job. Yo, this man faked his whole life. He said, fuck Don Draper, fuck old boy from Suits. None of y'all got shit on me. I'm like, he's in, bro, they gotta put him in Congress. He lied his way to fucking Congress, son. Like, y'all don't, you realize that? We don't know what he is ethnically yet. We have no idea where the man is from. He is a mystery. He is a comic book villain, okay? You have no idea because he's from everywhere. Like, he is the man of many identity, okay? That's honestly, that's comedy, son. That's comedy. That's fucked up.
It is funny.
Honestly, the Jews need to get him together. He needs to be dealt with. They need to deal with him. They need to take him out back because that's fucked up. No, that's fucking all jokes aside, that's fucking crazy. Like,
yeah,
you're not just gonna pretend to be Jewish to get back.
He's Jew-ish. Like that was his defense. That's insane. There's also probably a criticism here of like media, right? Like isn't it? I don't know. At least local media's job to do. I shouldn't blame. I mean, they're underfunded, right? Or they're completely. There's no local media anymore. But it's the job of state media, whoever, to look at these races, look at these candidates. You didn't do one Google search on this guy. Like, it's crazy that he got away with all of this shit. And no one looked it up until he won.
Yeah.
It's
weird. It's not the first time he ran for Congress. He ran in 2020 also. And so last time when he ran, he was like this really huge, to my understanding, like MAGA chud. And this time he reined it in a little bit and played up some of the liberal identity politics. And it's like, oh, I'm Jewish, I'm this, I'm gay, like just trying to do the bingo card. And it was all a lie. And it's honestly, like you were saying, like, it's kind of funny just because he actually fucking pulled it off. Like,
and we haven't even touched all the lies. Like there was one lie about him having like wasn't it like a dog shelter or something, like an animal rescue. But
Jesus.
Like a charity, but then it turned out that they only had like one event, and no one knows where the money went, or the money wasn't sent to the right place. Like there was just this guy's just lived like lie after lie after lie.
I haven't
He's
even heard of that one.
gone from one fake ass career to the next. It's wild.
Like If this were a Netflix show about a scammer, this would be fucking hilarious. This would be a fucking the ratings would be out of fucking control. They got some. He's fucking hilarious. The man is big jokes.
It'd be too unrealistic. It'd be like, oh, this show's not realistic enough. It's too fake. This would never happen in real life. He would never win this race.
Yeah.
No, 100%. It's giving a Shonda Rhimes show. Yeah. Shonda Rhimes. They need the picture to do it right now because this shit right here. No, honestly, that's what I keep saying. Like honestly, that's why. If you are a marginalized person, if you are Black, if you are a person of color, if you're anything else, I want you to know right now, let go of the imposter syndrome. These motherfuckers are not talented. They're not. They control the board. They get to choose the rules, and they just decide that they're great. Their players are great. Their shit is great. It's the way all their shit is the classics, blah, blah, blah. But then you go and look at it and it's an ugly painting. Then they spend a bunch of time trying to tell you that it's gorgeous. This is the prettiest bitch you ever seen in Mona Lisa, and you know it's not. It's shit like that. It's shit like that. Come on, look at this. Look at this. You see this? You see Anna Sorkin? You only have to watch to know white privilege is real. It's some real, like, you just got to look at this. Look at Anna Sorkin, the old girl inventing Anna, the Tinder swindler. And there's another one. There's another scammer that really. Did y'all see Katie Quackenbush?
No.
I recognize that name.
Katie Quackenbush. This white girl gone out. Katie Quackenbush was in a car, driving a car, playing her music dead loud in the neighborhood. A homeless man was sleeping on the street. And so he said to her, like, can you turn the music down? She gets out of her car, goes and shoots the homeless man. Really, like, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Got out of the car, shoot the man. Get back in the car, drive off. They get a girl probation.
Yeah, she got off for killing a homeless man, right? Like completely off.
What the fuck? I mean, I'm not surprised, but just
white girl,
Jesus Christ.
Katie Quackenbush. Yeah, shit like that. Or old girl, Turtleneck. What's her name? Y'all know Turtleneck.
Turtleneck?
Come on, Turtleneck.
There's a lot of different people that can fit that descriptor.
Big eyes, blonde hair, turtleneck, white woman, fraud.
I'll look this up. Turtleneck, big eyes.
Come on, her name is hold on, man. I know somebody in the comments knows exactly what I'm talking about. White lady blonde. They getting them in. Amanda Seyfried played her in a Hulu something.
I'll look at my comments here. I'm sure someone will.
It is Amanda Seyfried. Is that?
No. Amanda Seyfried played her in a.
Oh, she played her.
Her name is Lord. I can't believe y'all do better. Y'all supposed to know that.
Elizabeth Holmes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I didn't get that myself.
Yes. More proof. It's really insane, bro. Like I'm telling you, the more. That's what I realized too. The more my own career in life expands, and the more I enter more rooms and stuff, the more I realize how white people just be exchanging money and connections just amongst each other. just be doing shit. Just this person, that person, more money, more things. Don't be about being especially talented. Not at all. not at all. It'd be about such and such that they know such and such. You met such and such. Oh, such and such. Money. Apply for this so we can get you some money. Ooh, was you thinking about having some money? Money. And that's what you be looking at. That's why I don't even be making no sense. Like, just, I didn't show nobody a business plan. They didn't check nothing. They didn't verify. I can't get a phone from Verizon right now without them checking it out. And then Anna Sorkin and people are out here getting entire buildings with $1 million mortgages and all kind of stuff. And Rob,
it's all connections. Like, that's capitalism. Mm-hmm. It's all connections. It's who you know. And then
that's what I'm saying.
If you're born in the right, the right family, the right connections, then you're set. Right. Otherwise, you get super lucky. Like, I don't know if you're what's her name? That we were just talking about, that scammer that lied her way to the top. Like, if you're lucky enough to meet the right people while you're doing that, then you also have the chance. but for most people, it's all just like it's all just luck. It's who you're born into.
Crazy. That was really wild to me though. Like at first, like that. Did y'all watch it? Did y'all watch Inventing?
I didn't see it yet. No.
Mike, you out here depriving yourself of good TV.
Good.
Did you watch the Tinder Swindler?
Okay, no.
Tinder Swindler, I didn't.
I've heard of that though. A podcast that I listened to talked about it. But the Inventing Anna one, is that on Hulu?
It's important if you're fucking Inventing Anna.
I think it's Netflix.
Netflix. Okay, I'll check it out.
I don't want to see y'all next week if y'all ain't watched the Tinder Swindler.
We have a homework assignment.
Consider that your homework, because that shit right there. That was absurd. And inventing Anna really shocked me because Anna was smacked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I understand, like, we live in a life, like I get it. Like, I'm like, wow, like, that's a different level of, like, white privilege really surpass. It's interesting to see, like, pretty privilege and white privilege battle out, and seeing white privilege be able to whoop pretty privilege ass and get that out of the way, because ain't no fucking reason anybody was supposed to think that gal was what they thought she was, royalty or full up of bread. Like, that's crazy. Nothing about that young lady. Not a picture that they showed. Nothing. Not no point in time in life was that lady given millionaire, billionaire, heiress, da 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 da. And like, how does nobody notice she broke? How do you not notice she hasn't paid for anything? Like, you saying that, like, y'all noticing there's always excuse. You know, rich people who that nothing be making any sense. And I'm just like, purely off of whiteness and vibes. That's really crazy.
Confidence goes a long way. And then if you, it's confidence and at least faking connections. If you're able to convince someone that you know a certain someone and certain people with that confidence, then you can pull it off. But you got to be a sociopath, right? Like, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I can't. No. I'm not a good liar. Like, that lifestyle would not work for me.
Speaking of, since you've seen that, David, were you somebody? I feel like I didn't understand why people weren't on the side of her friend, the girl who the only charge that Anna wasn't convicted of, which was defrauding the girl of like the bunch of money she took from that when she tricked her into paying for the resort when they were away.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really didn't understand why the tides were so against her on that. People were like, oh, well, she only did this. She turned on Anna after this money situation and blah, blah, blah. Anna had been paying for all these things this entire time, and you have to pay for this thing one time. And I'm like, okay, but in real life, if a person is, as far as they are an heiress. That's what they presented. They are an heiress. They are the epitome of the 1%, right? And they go and have regular broke friends, and they take them places and stuff like that, because that is the trade-off. You're my friend. I want your company. You could never afford to be here in these places, so I am paying for all of the things. I'm like, how is she? But y'all like, oh yeah, her hand was swinging that whole time, and now she has to pay for this. So big deal. I'm like, are y'all fucking crazy? Are you out of your fucking mind? You ever been a regular broke person and do some shit with your richer friend because your rich friend tell you they're gonna cover for you? Could you imagine getting caught with the rich person bill you don't fucking have, like thousands and thousands of dollars when you're a regular person without that kind of money? Like, I'm not usually someone to like go out of my way to rally for white girls' plight, but I was like, I don't think she's being a Karen here. I don't.
No, she was totally justified in yeah.
Out of fucking work credit card. I'm like, are you serious? Like, if somebody cost me $4,000, I think it was like $4,000, right? Minimum, like, no, I think it was more than that, actually. Well, no, let me know the exact figure before, because I want to know the level of drama I'm about to give to the monologue I'm about to do. How much money? How much money she robbed her friend? Like,
it was just, yeah. I think what bothered me about that whole situation was, at least the way they were presenting it, was how did they not catch on sooner? Because it was amazing to me how far she was able to take it and how long they were defending her until finally, like, how how much more can you defend this woman after what she did to all of you? Like, that's what I was kind of stunned by. But
first of all, I'm so sorry. 4,000. See, 4,000 was something that was the magnet. That was the max my small little brain could fathom somebody costing me. I'm so sorry, because I had her fucked up. That girl cost her on that trip $62,000 on credit. Jesus. $62,000 of debt. I'm telling you right now, I'd have killed that bitch. Like, fuck, like, you did. I'm sorry, y'all think the worst thing, like, if I'm a white woman, and I'm not me, I'm a white woman. I am a white Manhattan bitch with those principles, and you steal $62,000. First of all, you're lucky if the least I fucking do is hem you up at the prosecutor's office. You're lucky. You're lucky if that's it.
Well, if you want the money back, you got to go that route. Otherwise, you're not getting the money back.
Bro, I would get her back in blood. Are you serious? Like,
you want to get paid though, right? You got to get the money back. That's not going to solve the problem.
She don't have no money. She doesn't have any money. No, the minute
Well, I know, yeah, but legally is the only way to try to get it back.
Of the $62,000, right? So I'm not getting the money back. So either way, you done fucked up. I've suffered an incredible loss here. You have to lose your life. Like your life. Are you fucking $62,000 fucking dollars, nigga? That's an education. That is like, fucking crazy. I wanted a trip for you, and now I have student loan debt. I would kill her. That's so fucking. Oh my god. I could not believe in the only thing that I found unfucking believable about the entire movie was that the one friend, like I get it to 2 degrees. Like I get it on one hand, what I want to say, and not on the other hand. But her one friend rallying for her was black. And that kind of blew my motherfucking mind. Like on one hand, I get it because like me personally, I wouldn't care if my friend was a scammer. If my best friend turned out to be a bitch that was scamming loan people, like that's my bitch. I'm not telling her. She ain't scamming me. So I wouldn't care. So I get that. I can understand why her best friend would be black. I understand that. But it was the best friend being black and poor and telling this girl, so what? She stole she cost you $62,000. Be her boy. Are you?
That's what bothered me. That's why I couldn't believe it was like a real life story, because I don't know how anybody could be defending her at the end. Like, how could you possibly still be like what? It didn't. That part didn't make any sense to me at all.
Her if she ain't steal my money, like if she's my friend and she didn't scam me, because I don't personally care. Like whatever. Like I'm a defense attorney. I'm not gonna sit up and pretend like I'd be morally outraged by things like you robbed some rich people. Do you think?
Yeah, but she wasn't rich, right? Like her friend wasn't rich. Like her. Like
that one, that's what I'm saying. That's the one person. That's the one person who was everybody else. All the other people she robbed was rich.
Yeah.
Kind of like moderate, regular rich, not heiress people. The kind of she could never be in that world. That's why I think that girl, it just as an individual is entitled to feel however she wants. I personally, I could see like friends still being behind that one. Who cares? But you know what? I'm a different breed because my friends probably could call me and tell me they did all kind of crazy. I don't. Like they could tell me they murdered somebody before they could tell me they voted Republican. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what my like I swear like
just for the record, not me. If someone close to me was like, "Hey, I did this serious thing," I'd be like, "You better fucking start running because I'm calling the cops."
Really? That's hilarious. Really? I've had this hypothetical with.
If they're truly in the wrong, yeah, I'm not. Fuck that. You can. I can choose. If I can choose to not be a shitty person, then you can choose to not be a shitty person. Fuck that.
So I'm gonna tell my friend they're a shit. Like, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell my friend that they're fucked up, right? Like, I'm not a mince word person. I'm gonna tell you, you fucked up, you wrong, you this, that's not actually true. Just the other day on Christmas, my friend asked me to text a number for us. I was like, oh, some guy blocked her. And to like see if it goes through. And I'm like, she deserved that shit. I know. I was like, yeah, you did that. Yeah, I know. You definitely do. It's you the drama. Like, I'll tell you when you're wrong. But I'm not gonna like me personally being like morally outraged by it or being whatever. Like, I don't, but maybe it's because I'm a defense attorney. Because I don't think if my best friend, I would feel stressed out that my friend now we have to deal with how you hide this, how we cover this up, never talk about this forever. You know what I mean? Like, I feel stressed out that my friend now has to deal with like hiding a murder. I'd be like, damn, I hate that for them. Like, this is really, you know what I mean? Like, that's like such a looming thing. Like, I would hate that. Like, wow, that's so much to unpack in therapy, to stress it out. That's gonna give you anxiety. You never feel good. But as far as me, like, nah, I'm very like, I come from my Grammy's like that. If you would call my Grammy and told her like, Alimi just went and murdered 10 people, my Grammy, they'd be like, well, what did they do to my grandbaby? Because I know she ain't just tripping. They had to be fucking with her. They was fucking with my grandbaby. Hey, no, I know that's what it is.
But what if it turns out that person's just like an actual they're a terrible person. They're living a lie. You didn't realize it. They had you. They were fit. They were fooling you the whole time as well. And now it's all come out.
A lie, or are they multidimensional? Because
multidimensional.
Hear me out.
Like multiple personality disorder.
No. Yeah, this is real tea. We live in a world where we act right as though like the people who do crimes like or people who've killed people are like somewhere on the outskirts and can't be found, and they're these special like everybody's a Dahmer and everybody's a this and they some bad, insidious, fucked up different character and stuff. And that's really not the tea. Like if you watch The Wire, I'm sure you love Avon and da 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 da. You see they cool people, you see they brand, they murdering people, they doing all kind of crazy things. People do all kind of fucked up shit and be regular people and still that person's friend, still a good uncle, still a good this, da da da, all those things. And I recognize, I'm sure some people in the comments like align me as a real crazy bitch, but I'm a hell of a defense attorney, whatever. so it exists. I'm like, it's regular. It don't mean like if my friend, I know my friend as a person. I like that person. I like their company. I like their this, and I find out they killed somebody. That's fucked up. Like depending on what the circumstances of, whether or not they did that. But I wouldn't suddenly feel like, go. There's been a demon hiding. They've been hiding their true self from me. No.
Well, obviously, it depends on the situation. Like if it's self-defense or something, it's a little different situation. But
it's like, if it's like what, like what's the scenario? What's the so what you saying is if Dexter, if you was Dab, Dexter was going to jail. That's what you saying.
Well,
oh!
I'm just thinking because like, well, which season of Dexter are we talking about? Is it before he started killing good people? like there was a time where Dexter really just killed the shittiest people ever.
You see? Did you see what I said? Now we're back to my original. You see what I'm saying? Tell me how you felt. What did they do? like how did that come about? Do you see what I'm saying? Like
I need a list of the names of who he's killing before I make my decision on whether or not to not necessarily support it, but just like.
Don't you also have to be worried though that this is gonna like come back on you? Like if you knew the whole time, you're not getting away free. Like you're fucked as well. You're going down with them. Like if you kept this a secret. Isn't there like?
No.
Aren't you like liable in some way because you didn't say anything about it?
No, it's if the police come and ask you, they act like that's a different thing. If somehow you get intimated in this and they come talk to you about this, but ain't no constitutional duty to snitch. You don't got no legal duty to like, you know what I mean? If now it's different. And now if they want to talk to you, if the police are talking to you or you are doing something to help them cover it up or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Then you become an accessory after the fact. But if it's just they told you about it, you can know that, you know what I mean? It's not like in the same way that like there's attorney-client privilege, meaning you can't be forced, you know what I mean, to testify to something or whatever. You could get subpoenaed or something like that. If the police knew, that becomes a different kind of thing. And then if they know or the prosecutors know and they come to try to get you to testify against it and you refuse or something, now you in contempt. Now you open yourself to all these other things, accessory, obstruction of governmental administration. But just as a general rule is like if your friend call you right now and say, oh, I killed such and such, it's not now you in trouble, you an accessory because you go to sleep after that. Like you're good. So, and also
I wouldn't be able to sleep. I'd be like, this is fucked up. If my friend told me they killed somebody, I'm not fucking falling asleep. I'd be freaking the fuck out.
With you more on this, David, just because I think that you can make the case that like violence maybe is justified if you're going to save lives. But then when you open the door to like vigilante justice, the only problem is that like people's interpretations of good and evil is subjective. So like Chaya Raichik, for example, could say killing a gay person saves lives because you stop like, gay kids from being recruited. So it's tough. Like the Deb and Dexter analogy is kind of tough because he was killing just bad people. So like in the Dexter seasons 1 through 3, I'd be like, okay, maybe I won't like turn you in. But like when he starts killing people in season 6 and 7, when they like, if I'm remembering correctly, when they are starting to find out about him, so he has to kill them to like keep quiet, then I'd be like.
But that's quite exactly really what my point is, right? Like we make these like hardline bright rules, but in actuality, it's a case by case thing, and you'd be willing to hear like logic that you agree with, because at the end of the day, Dexter ain't nothing more but a self-righteous fucking serial killer. He ain't how the fuck he killing bad people. No, what Dexter's doing, think about Dexter's activity. Dexter's a fucking murderer. That's what he does. He has an urge. He wants to fucking kill. He is far. He's just as dangerous as this. And in city, Raheem, I done told you to stop doing that shit in this house. Like Dexter, and then he spends his time looking at other people, bad people who are if you think about it, if you're just going based on what our general bright line rule metrics of bad are always less bad than Dexter for the most part, if you're going by that, right? Dexter, like maybe Dexter's a hater is what the fuck he is. He's a hater. He is a murderous hater. But we say, you understand that, man, oh, well, these are bad people, but by whose standard? If you're going by what our standard for bad person is, Dexter, a goddamn predator going around murdering, lying, doing all kinds of things, putting everybody in danger. Bad. Bad. And like that. That's just bad by those. But if we go by our general, I don't think this, but this is my, you know what I'm saying? It depends. Let me ask y'all this. Y'all think y'all have never been in the company of murderers? Like someone who's killed somebody by the actual, like you don't think
I have.
anybody?
I don't think I have.
David, you don't think you have?
No.
David,
I mean, maybe like, I don't know, when I'm in a crowd I don't know, like in Toronto, maybe in that crowd somewhere, but like,
I really respect,
but not like in, not like at a party or, not at a gathering.
I love that everybody in your life as far as decided that you were not the type of person they confess serious crimes to, and they were correct. Like, that's really good discernment on their part. Like, I bet they wasn't.
Is it normal for people to tell you they killed somebody? Like, is this like a normal, is this a normal human experience you've had?
First of all, I'm a defense attorney. Like,
well, no, yeah, okay. Obviously in your work, a little different than like.
That's the thing, right? It's not different, right? As much as we try to,
Well, it's different
like,
because you're a defense attorney. Like that's
it's not different worlds. In the same way that I could sit across from somebody and they're accused of a crime, you know what I mean? And I don't, I'm not judging them, or I can still, this is a person, I humanize them, I go through to this. I don't think they're deserving all these different things. I think they still have friends, family support. As I see them as a multidimensional person, is the same way kind of it translates for me. I'm like, yeah, like people, all the fucked up shit that's happening in the world is not just happening in a bag or a pool of who we deem as, oh, they're fucked up. Like, it just happens to sometimes, like, good people do fucked up shit. Like, good people do fucked up things, or people do different things for different reasons, or people have different responses that are bad. Like, when you think about it, if you live in, like, or you just think about what is like like gang violence, right? In like poor Black communities or something like that. There are all kind of you know what I mean? You do to survive, and all kind of things, and a horrible crime you might have done, or these kinds of things. But these are not bad people. They are adapting to the circumstances of the world that they live in, and what they've been taught, and what are certain kinds of responses, and what's normalized to this. And people, you know what I mean? It's a different world, and you're gonna see like good kids or people who would have been in different circumstances. They wouldn't do this, but they do that.
Yeah,
I guess, but I guess this is why I have the lane that I'm in. Because my friends definitely could call me and tell me they murdered somebody. I would be like,
I mean, I guess like if it depends on the circumstance and whether or not like you can compartmentalize that. I could, if it like was a justifiable situation. Like I do agree, like people are complex, situations can be complex. Like for me, like when you ask the question, Alay, of have you been in the company of somebody who's killed people? Like I have multiple family members who have been in the military, who served in wars. So without question, they were put in predicaments where they did fucked up shit. And it's hard to think about that, because at the same time, it's like they chose to be in that predicament, to join the military, but at the same time, the broader system put them in this situation to where they were pitted against other people who were just like them, poor with no opportunities, and they were killing, being shot at and stuff like that. So the situations do change. Though I guess for me, it just really depends. Like my default position is like to be against the immoral thing, and like murder is just like viewed as one of the most immoral things imaginable. But like there are situations to where if like, somebody who was raped killed their rapist, it's like, okay, I feel like that's, ethically, I don't think that that's that bad. I guess I guess that there's more nuance to it.
I think you can condemn, like I don't want, I think you have an obligation, and this is a conversation I feel like I have a lot, especially in terms of like restorative justice and abolition and all these different kinds of things. I think you have to recognize that like people will always have community, or if they don't, it's a worse situation, right? In the sense like people like, man, if we live in let's take just like violence against women, right? Or domestic violence or things like that, which is far, far more prevalent than you would ever think it is. You know what I mean? Than what is women discuss in their general day to day, or what men even realize, how much men even are cognizant of is sexual coercion, all the different things that they do that are bad, right? But when you condemn, you can, if a friend calls me and my friend tells me something that they've done that is wrong, or that I believe is wrong, right? They're telling me something and I decide that's wrong. I'm going to take my friend to task, right? I'm going to tell you like all the ways in which that is fucked up. That's this, you need to do this. This is actually that, blah, 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 blah. Like I just actually had a conversation with one of my friends the other day, telling him like the age difference between him and a girl is not appropriate. Like to me, like I think she's maybe like 20 and he's like 32. And I'm just like, no, time out. And nobody needs to give me, we don't need to get in a whole dissertation. Y'all can spare me. Nobody message me about why y'all think it's fine. But I was telling him why I don't. You know what I mean? Like I'm always going to tell you what I think. I'm going to take you to task. That's better than, to me, a world where it's like, okay, you told me this thing. I fucking disagree with this. I think this is a horrible thing. And now I don't know you anymore. Like, because what has that done to prevent the horrible thing has happened. It's happened. And either I contend with this human being, if this person was already my friend, I'm not being asked to take up a new person, like some person I didn't care about or already have an existing thing with, but this was already a person I fuck with, right? This is already my friend or something like this, whatever I've signed up with for their friendship. I'm here to tell you, oh, that's real fucked up. Let me tell you why that's wrong. That's this. Now it's a different world in which if you tell me, oh, nah, this is who I am. I do fucked up shit. I'm gonna keep doing this. That's a whole different conversation. But I feel like the initial, like, yeah, it's not like, oh, you call me and you tell me you a murderer and I'm like, oh, okay. Sometimes people gotta die. Like that's not what I'm going to say. We're gonna have a long process about why you ain't supposed to be out there fucking murdering people. You know what I mean? But it is gonna individually, like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I can't deal with, the knowledge that this person did this thing and be friends with them. And I guess that's just because I think that people, like human beings, are capable of a lot of evolution, and they're also capable of a lot of bad shit. You know what I mean? A lot of bad shit, a lot of mistakes, and not everything is going to be. Sometimes shit is bad. The thing is just bad. You know what I mean? It doesn't, and it's not justifiable, but it doesn't mean that this person is still inherently bad or 100% bad. Sometimes you just have to contend that I did something real fucking bad. This is bad. That's what it's going to be, and I have to figure out how to, like, move differently, do better in the future. But I think sometimes we make a mistake when we have this address of like, oh, unless it's, justified or something like that, then, I condemn you and don't know you, because at the end of the day, those people still exist. We haven't deleted them. We don't get to delete these bad people that have done these things that we condemn. They still exist. So isn't it better for us as the people that were you already signed up to be friends with that person. You already know that person. You're already in community with them. Why you don't help that person not be a piece of shit? Rather than just be like, piece of shit, let me ostracize you and you go find a bunch of other pieces of shit to frolic with, and now you got fucking Andrew Tate.
I think it's all context. So I completely agree with what you're saying in terms of we should err towards rehabilitation but oftentimes you have to think about how much power you really have over this person's life. Like if you really have no influence, then it's just, this my mind went to like, if I am friends with someone who's willing to kill somebody and they told me that, am I going to be next because they're now worried that I'm going to do something about this? Like, so I'm like, I have to like almost stop.
Not am I going to be next?
I have to get to them before they get to me now. It's kind of where my mind's going. Like, this is not. I can't trust this person now. They can't trust me. It's just. But yeah, no. Obviously, context I think is matters in terms of explaining what someone did and why they did it.
When I think of like an example of like, to me, like, okay, you did a bad thing that like is disproportionate. Let me give you a perfect example, like a hypothetical. Is like a guy he has an anger issue. He's just an angry dude. He's an angry drunk. He's at a bar. He beats the brakes off. You know what I mean? And he kills somebody. He's not so drunk that he's not cognizant or whatever. He's just angry, loses his temper. You know what I mean? And he does it, right? Wrong. Really, really fucked up. Guy did not deserve it. Completely disproportionate. Wrong. There's nothing you could say. There's nothing that justifies that. But the actual underlying root cause here is you have an anger problem. It's not this person is necessary. And like one problem that has a spectrum can lead, you know what I mean, to this terrible outcome if not addressed, if not unchecked, you know what I mean? Isn't this special, this special badge you exist. You have a problem and this is what you are capable of when that is unchecked. But so yeah, this fucked up terrible thing you did, but now we gotta figure out. Let's address where that anger comes from. It's not that this is some special
absolutely.
monster.
But I also think like not facing any repercussions is going to solve the problem. Like if you just keep beating people and killing them and getting away with it, like you're not getting help. You know what I mean? Like until you are you have to be faced with needing to solve the problem.
Except when you look at it like here's the thing. Here's the thing. I guess maybe it's because we live in an American society where America does not police actual crime and harm and social ill by what is actually present, right? They just don't. They're just not. It's like today if I walk 40 minutes, I lie. If I walk 30 minutes straight out of my house, I live in like Little Caribbean and it's super, super black, right? Completely black. But if you walk 30 minutes, it's literally completely an entirely Jewish community, and they look entirely different, right? I just walk like where it is, police all of my neighborhood, NYPD not to be found somewhere else. And it doesn't make, where you put a magnifying glass where you look, and it doesn't mean harm and all these different things are any less present in these communities than they are in the communities that are being over policed. But so the people that really get away with things, all this harm, like, what is our system and this punishment, this idea that, oh, these people are, doing this and getting away with it. Anybody that's being recycled through the criminal system ain't getting away with a damn thing. You know what I mean? They're not just doing something to get away. Those are exactly the people who are, that's not that. It's just that our criminal system does not prevent. It literally causes and recidivism for a number of different reasons, right? Rap sheet, all these different things, put you into different kind of circumstances to make sure these kind of things continue to happen. But you will never, in neighborhoods, if white people are never being policed that way. The people that are really getting away with shit are the people that are never policed in these ways in the first place. If you look at justice as criminal conviction and all these different things, so I don't think it's a situation. I think it starts from before that. Like, I don't think we could start it at, they're doing these things and getting away with it, because the people that really get away with it never make contact with the criminal system. They're not being policed in that way. Things are being covered up. Some of the most I will tell you, as someone who has heard and had a lot of confessions in my day, even beyond just the thousands of people I've represented, just people I know, some of the most unsightly, like the worst kind of fucked up crime shit I've ever heard is from like my white male classmates in law school who get drunk and cry their soul out to me and tell me some story, you know what I mean? And perfect example. I'm gonna just tell the story. Fuck them. I'm not another person. Like, nobody gonna know. My 1L year, I'm out with the white people, my white law school classmates. There's this white guy that his dad was like somebody important in like Philadelphia or something. He tells me the story. He gets drunk and he chooses the one black person to come talk to. He's drunk. We're sitting on the side of the street and he tells me how he's been tortured. He's so guilty because over the Christmas break, he was playing his little brothers were playing basketball. His brothers, they were all white, were playing basketball on a basketball court with some black guys, and they lose and they get into it. He's like, he admits, he says to me, his brothers, started the fight and they're fighting with the guys. But then he gets a call and he comes and he takes the black guy's head and slams his head through the windshield of the car. Like, slams his head through the windshield of the car. And then his daddy and them call the police and get the black boys arrested. And he's crying to me about it, about how he's been so plagued by the guilt of this all semester. And I say to him, well, how about you go help those guys? You want to do something about those charges you got them, or tell, say this one. He's like, anything but that. And I know a lot of fucking stories like that. The people who really get away with shit are the people who are never policed and seen that way. It's not the people that are being cycled in throughout the criminal system. They're not getting away with a motherfucking thing. What they are doing is receiving all the exacerbation of all the issues they went in the criminal system with, and that's why you're seeing recidivism. But the people out here killing, raping, sexually assaulting, and all that shit, they be the Matt Gaetz of the world, the Andrew Tates of the world, all these people that just be right there in our face, fucking doing it. The Epsteins, the this, where they find one or two of them, they might try to make an example out of her, but maybe a millisecond, but the rest of them continue to operate, not just in plain sight, but as the most advantaged, the most privileged class, with the most connections, with the most money and all this stuff. So that's what I would say.
That's who I'm talking about, though. When I'm talking about, like, if a friend did some serious shit and like did like that, for example, they would normally get away with it, and they shouldn't. Yeah. And I'm going to report them because they should not get away with this shit. Like,
and then you're gonna be writing you a whole op-ed. You're gonna be writing you an essay about the time you realize how powerful white privilege is when you call the police on your boy and ain't shit happened to him. and now you can't get it. Now they blackballing you on something in your private life, because that's all that would happen. Because that's what would happen.
I think it depends where you're. No, I think here
in the scenario who I'm talking about, or these kinds of people and stuff like that. Yeah, in this scenario, I told you, he knows the police. You know what I mean? If the police aren't fundamentally is not that they're not aware of what his role was or anything in that. It's that they made an executive decision. Oh yeah, lock up the black guy, and that's what his dad knows. That's what the police knows. That's what they know. They're not keeping it a secret. It's not like the police were under the impression these black guys were under than, I guess, more than what the police impression of black guys are. But the police aren't unaware, like, oh yeah, he did this to him. His head in the windshield. He didn't put his own head in the windshield, right? Like, that's not, even if we were just going by a regular world, if it were reversed, even if you wanted to make a self-defense argument, you would have to make it. You know what I mean? You'd be arrested, you would be charged. But I think in a lot of these scenarios, what you find is the criminal system does not respond to these kind of actors in the same way. They don't. Like, even when they do get, arrested. I know lots of white guys that have had DUIs, or they got, arrested at a bar fight, or they did something. The experience they have with the criminal system after that is not what, the normal experience for Black and brown people is in the criminal system. And that actually sometimes is harmful, because now they go in thinking, oh, I have experienced the criminal system and it's like this. It's fair. I think, what's her name? Kanye West's ex-girlfriend, Julia somebody, did a video.
Yeah.
She was on Z-Way and she talked about that, she was always getting arrested and going to, central booking, and they would just, let her out and be like, oh, it's fine or whatever. And so she said there was this young Black girl, like a teenage Black girl there. It was her first time being arrested for something petty. And she was like, oh, girl, it's going to be fine. They're just going to, oh, it's good, da, 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 da. And instead they were sending her to Rikers on like thousands of dollars bail. And so that is what I'm saying. Like, you think it's insidious. Like, you think it's a lot more insidious than it is, like something you really have to parse out. But it dead ass is like that. When I arraign white people, their cases are gone. Like, they're gone almost at arraignments. Like, I've never had to represent a white person beyond two court appearances. The case is going to be resolved. It just doesn't, it just always is like that. And I've never seen it not like that. Even in the most, like, court is a place where if my Black or brown client opens their mouth to speak, the judge snaps at them to stop talking in the court offices, speak to your lawyer through me. But the worst position I've ever seen a white client in, where he actually was, they remanded him and they let him, when he came out, he pled his case to the judge's fucking self, and the judge let him out. They wouldn't let my Black client speak. But they were more moved by what this white man could say next to me than they care to hear it from my Black ass. You see what I'm saying? So you'd be surprised to find out the system will not respond. It will not give the same moral outrage that it does. And when you think about it, why would it? The people that do the law enforcement are murderers. You know what I mean? Like, the police are all around the country killing people. They have some of the highest rates of domestic violence and sexual assault. So murder, sexual assault, right? The worst things, what we have, our bright line rules, we know happens in rampant among the people that we place in law enforcement. Why would we think, and they police certain populations, why would we think when you tell them about those kinds of things happen in their populations, they would respond in the same way?
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, to take this back to a personal context, I think for me, like, just making a decision on whether or not I would still continue to be friends with somebody, I think they would have to do something bad enough to sufficiently change the way that I perceive their character. Because I don't think that any of us here would be like friends with an inherently bad person from the get-go. Like, none of us would be friends with Andrew Tate in his current form. Like, whether or not we befriended like a more, docile version, that's a different story. But like, I think it comes down, what was I going to say? It comes down to how bad of a thing that they did and whether or not I think that changes the way that I view them. Like, if somebody told me that all of a sudden they're a huge Republican Trump supporter, that's not necessarily a crime, obviously, but I still don't think I could be friends with them. You know what I mean? Like, I would have to disassociate myself with them just because there's so many other implications from that. So, like, in terms of, like, I guess who I would be friends with and whether or not I would turn them in or not, like, that would be my take, is like, well, okay, you're not who I thought that you were. But of course, like, context and nuance matters.
See,
like,
that's so different for me, because in that situation, I would be like, oh, I can convince them otherwise. I can educate them. They'll change, which has happened to me. I had a friend who enjoyed Ben Shapiro videos. He enjoyed the anti-feminist ones. Like, he thought it was funny that Ben Shapiro would dunk on these feminists. And I slowly educated him over a couple of years, and he is much different now.
Yeah.
So, like, I can. It's about. I guess it's like when it comes to politics, I feel like it's usually people that are just uninformed and they are willing to change if they have the right information. At least that's
So
in
I
my
guess
experience.
I guess
If they
it's
can
less
be
about
rehabilitated, then I'd
Yeah.
agree. But
So I guess it's
depends.
less about what we moral judgments. I guess we're not making moral judgments, any of us. I think it's more about what we have time and energy for. You know what I mean?
That's
I
fair.
think like I think it's about whether or not like what reactions, because you know what, because you're right? Like I've had friends that I've like changed or moved over time, and
Mhm.
so it's about what you feel like dealing with or what creates a conundrum for you. I guess in my case, like for me, I'm created a labor. If you are come to me, well, if you're a big, I can't deal with it. I'm a person like I struggle to deal with my friends I like and I think are aren't problematic or bigoted, but they just ain't
Mhm.
informed about certain things, and I wanna die. Like so I just can't be bothered, and I also just don't think I could be my best self because I'm gonna be a bitch. Like I'm just gonna be over it and sick of your stupid shit. Like, and I just so that's not why. Whereas I guess in the case of where it's just them criming, I'm like, oh, okay, that's your personal story you done told me. You know what I mean? Like, I guess because it's not like my problem as much as your viewpoints is gonna be my problem, because that's gonna conflict with how I'm talking and going about my daily life because of what I do. And I just don't have the time, and I don't have the temper, I don't have the desire to put in the work, which is so much different than what is my natural temperament. So maybe that's just what it is. Maybe because my defense attorney nature is to hear, because I always, I done seen the charges and read the sheet, and I've already come in and like, oh, I'm rocking with you. So maybe it's like because my brain is so like that. That's why it's like, oh yeah, you didn't know what you did. All right, I some legal advice. Like, yo, I wish I could tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all about it when we are not streaming. They would love it. I'm gonna tell you about a call I got from a friend recently that'll excite you. And I was like, it was the first time. I can't tell y'all what, but I normally when my friends call me and they have like a legal question, it's always something that I feel like is like, oh yeah, that's not nothing. Da, 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 da. This time, I was like,
Oh no.
like they called me and I immediately, you don't understand, I got stressed because I was like, I can't. And like in my mind, I'm like, this is kind of like, I think it's I was like, I don't think this is small, friend. Like, I don't
Oh
think this
no.
so maybe it's just like that because it's a job thing. I think that's all it is, like energy. Because yeah, I think we have
Yeah.
to put the energy into the Republican.
I feel like it would be stressful knowing that anyone could like call you and dump some shit on you that you don't want to hear. It's just
Mhm.
like, you know
That's
what I
my
mean?
life. I'm that person.
Yeah,
Like
I
everybody.
feel bad for you because of that. Like that's real shit you have to hear from people because they want your advice on something, and like you're
Especially
working
I
based, but
couldn't.
that's like you're on the job
That's
all the
too
time
much.
because
Yeah,
No,
you're
anyone
like
can
you
call you.
never get a break from it.
Yeah.
no, never. I'm everybody's life coach. Like I
Oh
am
God.
100%. All I do, I listen to stories and dole out good advice all day long. That's all I do. And get ignored, And everybody just do their own. They don't follow the advice and then come back to me to talk about how they should have done what I been said. And I'm a very, but also too, I appreciate my friends who know, like I'm an I told you so ass friend. Like I want you to know you remember when I told you fucking that? Like I'm that friend. My friend Amber does not call me. She would not call me for a year till like she'll call me once a year when she ready to hear my mouth. Like, but she will not call me other than that. Like, okay, this bitch gonna talk a lot of shit. Let me get it out in one sitting and let me tell you. And I'm just like, ma'am, why are we in the middle of these love and hip hop ass storylines? And she's like, that's me. All my friends are like, yes, Aliyah. I mean, you're right. You did tell me I did my best. Like,
Everybody needs the friend like that who will call them on their bullshit though. If you don't have a friend like that in your life, I think it shows.
yeah.
Where you need somebody who's going to be real with you, who's going to explain to you, yeah, you did fuck up, and not just validate you. Because like everyone's perfectly valid and whatnot, but sometimes somebody needs to tell you, actually, what you did was kind of fucked up. You're kind of in the wrong here. Because if you don't have that, then you just kind of like devolve into this like narcissistic person with a victim complex, and it's toxic.
I feel
Yeah.
like I'm that person for myself. I don't want to sound like egocentric or anything, but I question everything that I do. I am always hard on myself. If I don't know, get angry or like do something that I regret doing, I regret it like 5 minutes later. I apologize. Like I am and it's stressful because I've had a like lifelong serious anxiety. I went to therapy for anxiety. I took ayahuasca for anxiety. Like I've had serious issues with anxiety, depression, and I think part of it is because I am always in my own head, and it's very hard to escape my own head, and that's so I don't need a friend like that. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, but at the same time, it's like I think I'm good on that front.
That's hilarious.
Well,
My friends are
you're
very
already getting what you.
looking, but they tell me about my ass. They will, and for like my friends, like do mirror back for me. They let me know like you are a loudmouth Leo bitch. Like we love it. Like that. They uplift me, but they let me know like, oh yeah, girl. Like my best friend is like, she'd be like, she'll just look at me and be like, you ain't got no inside voice, no. Like, or the other day I called my best friend. I was complaining about my daddy, and I was like, my daddy asked me if I did something, and I was like, yeah, daddy, I told you that. And he was like, you didn't tell me that. I wouldn't ask you if I knew the information. And I was like, and my best friend was like, I don't know why you complain about your daddy, and you're exactly like fucking that. She was like, tell you things 1,000 times. You're like, I never heard that in my life. And I was like, huh, precisely, you walk a wreck. I had an ex-boyfriend call me stubborn once. And I called my friends like, oh, you believe he called me that? And they were like, yes. Are you fucking not self-aware, bitch? Like, yes. I do believe he said that. Like my friends be telling me about myself all the time. Like literally like, ma'am, you don't think that was a lot? And I'd be like, I suppose. I should course correct.
It's good to have honest people in your life, you know.
Yeah, for
Keep it
sure,
straight.
for sure. I think that for you, David, it works that you have that mechanism of like self-awareness. And same like you, Ole. Like if you don't have that, then I do think you need a friend like that.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people that just lack self-awareness, and it's whenever they're challenged, like you can really see it. Like the obvious example is like these people like Elon Musk, like who are surrounded by yes men who just affirm every single dumb idea that they have, and then when they finally get challenged or made fun of, like you can see how confused they are. Like the Elon Musk getting booed and whatnot. I mean that's more of like a insulated billionaire problem, but just like generally speaking, like if you're not self-aware, you need somebody to like be real with you. I think that's like very important.
I think that is very difficult. Like, I guess my friend gave me some really good advice the other day. Like it was he was chastising me. Like it was a little bit of a reprimand, but it was mostly like, this is really constructive. But I understand feeling like, I think especially like with the internet, I get how it is to become so like, I feel like I have a fast trigger, like always did in general, let alone, and I don't like people, I've never like being mischaracterized, and I don't too much like people telling me what to do. Which I think, is a lot of that in the internet and people talking shit about you. And also I think in my case, I always feel like I'm incredibly like, I'm with me 24/7, right? Like I spend all my time in my mind trying to understand me, trying to reflect, trying to do this, trying to work on me as a person, trying to this. So when people who don't fucking know me from anywhere come and say, all these things and insult you this, I'm like, I want to fucking let loose and let the chopper sing on everybody. But I'm like, something I've been on my own. I'm like, I'm trying to check and police on and it is a process before anybody starts doing it, telling me I need to, is like, okay, I'm trying not to like, just let these people's negativity sit, or I don't have to acknowledge it or whatever it is. Because I just think as a person, you naturally, just as a human being, you hone in on negativity. You just like, you could get 1,000 compliments, but it's just like, who those people had me fucked up. And I was having this conversation with my friend the other day, who's an actor, and he was like, oh, you get all kind of love, like majority love, just love. And I was like, you don't see all the negativity and the da 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 da. And we had this whole like thing. And then he called me like 2 days ago and he's like, let me impart you a gift. He was like, I was watching this thing and he's like, let me tell you something about math. He was like, the president of the free world is doing well when he has a 50% approval rating. He's like, we're like, oh yeah, like that's right, 50%, 50 fucking percent. He's like, if you are like at 80, he's like, you're at 80, 70, this or whatever. I don't care how much negativity you see, like you are doing well, very well, being like positively received, like, and you want to be wary of like the narcissism of, just I need 100% positivity or something like that. So that's something I'm trying to check on my own. Like, okay, let me not be so hot tempered. And I think the internet, just like Twitter itself, I think there is a compounding effect. At this point, it's not about even what the individual comment says. I think if you're on the internet, chronically online, like we are, and day after day, and people are just on your fucking neck year after year, I think you just become all right, I'm letting loose immediately. Fuck this, I'm over this, because you see so much bullshit. But what I'm trying to do is check my own self. Like, okay, let that rock, not be so, I don't want to be so quick to chew people out that it eventually comes off, or it seeps or unintentionally across the line into arrogance or something. So it's something I'm trying to be mindful of with my own self.
There
So
was
I'd be
definitely a
trying.
time where I would like, see negative comments and feel the need to respond and correct whatever. I got to the point where if it's like an accurate comment, then I will respond and I won't criticize. Like I'll try to be understanding. But usually it's a piece of shit person. So well, what I do now is honestly I just block people, and
Yeah.
and Twitter has gotten so much better. YouTube comments so much better because once you weed out the pieces of garbage that are just there to talk shit, then you are actually able to engage in real conversations, and
Yeah.
you're willing to almost listen more because the advice you are getting aren't people that are out to get you or criticize you. Like I posted something about like a video game a couple days ago, and some person replied, "Why are you such a loser for playing game?" Like I was like, I just blocked them.
Jesus.
This is like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like, I don't need this person in my life. Like we all play
Yeah.
video games. Shut the fuck up. Go away. I get to talk. This is my fucking Twitter page. You don't have to comment on this. But like I didn't respond. Just like block them. Whatever. They're gone. Never hear from them
Yeah.
again. It's just it doesn't. I don't need that. I don't need to deal with these fucking people. Like it's
No,
just
and
Yeah.
that is the route. I'm trying to get to the people, to the level of the people who like, oh yeah, like they just leave it there. Like people could just, you know, just be hating on them, just casually, in the comments, and they just fine with it, they whatever. I'd be like, today I was proud of myself though, because I saw it late. I was only I wrote my Illuminati essay, and I was looking for something so I could hyperlink to it, and then I saw this person's tweet that was like, on my video about Tory Lanez was convicted, and they were like, let me see. They were like, to be honest, I'm disappointed in you. I saw your interview on the Young Turks and thought you repped as well, but I see that your ideology comes with conditions. And you know what? A week ago, one of two things would happen. I would have either blocked them outright, or I'd have cursed them the fuck out and blocked them. I cursed them out, but I'd have told them, I'd have been like, because it's just the weight, it's just the moral, the righteousness that people come at you with, and when people try to, it's just like, but I responded really well. I thought, you know what I mean? I was like, or perhaps I just answered on the merits of like, or perhaps you don't understand, when I'm saying this is that, I'm gonna put out the essay, and I was like, oh, good lie me. I was like, ooh, little girls, little wins. Look at us doing better. Because I be hating that stuff. And I think it's because they do have a way of coming at, like, I think what gets frustrating is people come at you in this way. That's like, if you don't answer, they act like you're evading you're evading some explanation they're looking for. Like, this is a narrative that's being allowed to go. You ever seen a negative comment about you or something like that, and it has some likes on it, and it's your followers and stuff like that, and the minute you respond, those people go and unlike that person's comments. They don't want to go be, like, and I feel like that, like, they do that sometimes. Like they gravitate, like, they act like, oh, this has been allowed to stand. This position has been allowed to stand, and we can continue and persist with this because you haven't addressed this or whatever it is. Or in my case, and I think this is something I'm trying to figure out for the new year, because I think I respond. I think I engage with my followers a lot more than people in average. Like, even if I don't respond to everything, I click like on most comments from my followers. I try to, if they say something really nice about me in direct, I try to like give them a gif, give them a something. And I think for me, because everybody knows I see all the comments or whatever, for the most part, when somebody is saying something negative about me and it's right there, I feel like now everybody thinks I'm pussy. I'm like, oh, y'all think I'm like, oh, y'all.
because they expect you to respond. They're waiting for the response.
I'm like, oh, y'all think I'm scared. I'm like, I'm not scared. I just don't want people to think I am mean and I am a bully. Like, but I'm just like, oh, who are you talking about? I got you think I'm soft. Like,
I think a lot of times though, we assume that other people will see that comment and think, oh, they're going to agree with that, or they're pointing something out that other people are like. So we feel the need to respond to almost like address an issue that isn't even there because that one person pointed out. I mean, if there's like a pylon, it's a little different. If there's like a lot of people saying some shit, but if it's like one comment and it's not being addressed, You know, most people probably aren't even looking at the replies. I mean, maybe you're different because people are waiting for your replies. But I think in my case, people don't give a shit, and it's just I don't even bother anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, I used to be like where if somebody said something wrong about me or negative, like I felt kind of like I was obligated to respond because what would people think if I didn't respond or if I didn't have some witty comeback? But now it's to the point where it's like I just don't give a fuck. Like they can completely fabricate this fiction about me, and at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's not going to change fundamentally who I am. But responding or not responding does impact like my mental health and just like taking kind of like a social media cleanse for the past week and a half. It does wonders. Just not knowing what people are saying about you or about anything. It really is wonderful. And it kind of like, not that this is like a huge epiphany, but like it lets me realize once again how toxic like social media is. Just
Yeah, it
because
really is.
that dopamine rush when you get the likes or the instant anger you feel when somebody just like David was saying about the video game thing, like just randomly responding, like just they just want to be fuckheads for no
Yeah.
reason, and
And
just
and
like to
oftentimes they
not have
want
that.
they want the engagement. Like there are people out there that
Yeah.
are literally just clout chasers. That they
Yeah.
and honestly, it fucking bugs me. There are certain people, I'm not even gonna name their names because they're fucking clout chasers. But there are people that engage with these fucking assholes, and they have made them now popular. People like household names because you engage with this person who told you on camera that they're only in this for clout, that they're only in this to get like likes or get their name out there, and you're still engaging with them even though you know they're dishonest. Like it's not you people, like we're making celebrities out of these fucking assholes. Like just if everyone, I know it's impossible because you can't police the internet, but if everyone just did not engage with people that are in it simply for clout, then we would all be a lot better off because at least we're dealing with people who are honestly in their positions, and we can expose those people who are wrong for the shit they are saying. But people that are saying shit wrong on purpose for attention, like don't give those people attention. Like block them, get rid of them, or like mute, like just get them out of your feed, out of your life. Like you don't need to engage with those people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm at the point I make, executive decisions but especially in my case, like media appearances. When I see, like the other day, I don't remember what it was, but somebody asked me to come talk about Rikers with some, and I look with some like a debate, like a panel or some shit, and I look up who the person is, and I'm like, this is a fucking right-wing nut job with no following, no platform, no for real. And he has literally, I was like, there's nothing for me to gain, but everything just by me engaging this nobody as a premier or whatever, this will propel him to. I was like,
Yes.
fuck no.
Exactly.
And I literally, when I said to you, I literally told them, like, and I think more people, and I'm gonna say what I said just so people have it out there that I very much so this is my position with things. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, because let me see. I think let me find it right now. Nothing to gain. I think I literally said to them, like, why do y'all want me to talk to these people? Like, and I'm like,
if your engagement with them is going to just purely benefit them and do nothing at all for, like, there's no reason. Like there's no reason to engage with these arguments from people who are only going to benefit from your platform.
Right. Boom.
Yeah.
They asked me. They said, hey, Ole, hope you're well. We're wondering if you could join us to discuss Rikers, the panelists, it would be with this guy, this person. And I said, why do y'all want me to talk to this idiot? So I said in that work with a crying face. And they said, laughing emojis, I'm sorry. We need solid pushback. And that's why we want you. I said, I honestly kind of don't care to have my presence breathe life into some relatively unknown idiot who thinks Rikers is something to be contrarian about. Like, my engaging him legitimizes him and makes his dumbass thoughts heard when it otherwise wouldn't be, because no one's listening to that young man. I'd rather just come and talk about Rikers when y'all want an update on what's happening rather than give this man's thoughts a sounding board for debate.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
perfect.
exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm at the place where I'm like, I before, like initially it's like, okay, I'm trying to bring Rikers and these kind of things to the forefront of conversations, trying to get these places to talk about it in general. But I'm like, now at this point, like, I don't need, you know what I mean? Like, you want me to come talk about it or whatever to do to
and like
do y'all
it's
a favor.
it's one thing if that person's like super well known already, they have a platform,
Yes.
and
And
they're
then
spreading
you
this
don't
garbage and you can engage with it. That's
exactly.
but to
But I'm gonna
introduce a
create the
new
platform.
individual into this conversation and
Yeah.
give them energy and like, no, get the fuck
Right.
out of here.
I was like, why would I do that? I was like, just the fact alone, like the place itself, what that was, it was like, y'all don't have Rikers debates. Y'all don't have Rikers discussions or panel or like segments before I do that. Like never before. The only Rikers content y'all do is from me. So why do you already have a Rikers segment plan now with this guy? Because that's the real plan. The plan is to put this guy on and it's come get me to come do it. And y'all think I'm a conk, but I am not a conk. Like, yo, I will not be joining. I'm not gonna fucking do that. Why would I do that? I'm like, that's absurd. And so I'm at the place now trying to be more mindful. Like, okay, wait a second. Let's not create a person. Let's not put some eyes on this person, because very often you're correct. That is what they're trying to do. They're trying to feed off you to create a platform, and because that's what people are in it for. They're in it for that. That's why it's the grift, right? They just want however which way they can, whichever way they could squeeze themselves into a room and into a dollar and into a platform. They're trying to do it, and often they feed on our outrage or us making the mistake of talking to them. So that's what I'm at the place. I'm like, let me ignore people unless they already, like Andrew Tate, like you got okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's already out there. Exactly.
Yeah, it's already out there.
Yeah.
Like I don't have any problem. Like whatever, fuck it. But somebody new? Oh no.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, they crave any amount of attention that they can get for you, which is why I've stopped blocking a lot of people and just mute them, because even a block acknowledges that you saw their existence. You had to click the 3 dots and block them. You acknowledge that they are there. But just like even giving them anything. So a couple of months ago, there was this new grifter that debated a leftist. I think David was referring to this individual earlier. And I reacted to it for like 5 minutes on my Twitch stream. And I'm like, okay, I can't handle this. This is stupid. And just that 5-minute Twitch stream, which my Twitch streams, they get like sub 100 viewer counts. Like I basically do them to interact with the audience, and then I'll get clips out of them for my YouTube channel. But that person made a video about my like 5 minutes. Just, this is stupid. Like, Humanist Report smears me or some dumb shit like that. It's like,
oh yeah, they're fucking waiting for that shit.
Even if it's insignificant, it doesn't even matter how stupid or minimal your interaction is. That gives them lives. Like they live
100%.
for the cloud. So the best way to deal with these people is just completely pretend like they don't exist.
The funny thing, the one thing I will say, people like, that's the one thing I am good at is when they make the videos talking about, because one thing about me, I don't consume negative stuff about me. That's what people have to.
You shouldn't.
I will blur. No, that's because I will blur my eyes. I literally do not like. I'm mad. I want to fight. I don't like you saying shit about me. I'm not one of those people who's gonna like sit here and watch you talking shit about me. Nope, not at all. I won't watch a show I'm on if I think y'all talking shit. Like, so if I see a motherfucker like every time, like especially when I do Rising and these like obscure right-wing people gonna go tag me in some shit or try to get me like bait me into talking about it, I'm like, sorry, bitch. won't be. You're out of your fucking mind. You think I'm watching that? You think you're talking shit about me and I'm watching?
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. I've never seen a single video where they're like attacking me. Like, why am I gonna fucking click on that and watch that? Like, people have sent me videos like you should watch. I'm not gonna fucking watch this video. Like, why would you send this to me? I don't give a fuck.
Why do people do that?
I'm not listening.
Because they think you care enough to watch it.
Talk bad about me. Because they want you. People are so. People are sick. I ever tell you about this? No, they like people kind of feed off like. Seeing how like that. That's why they like IG Live, where they could see celebrity, like know that to say negative things there because they could see the celebrity have to know it's there. Like they want you to know. They want you to know about the negativity about you so fucking bad. Even people who think it's a sickness. I'm sure there's some psychological thing or whatever name, but because even your own fans, I met earlier this year. I met my friend. It was some one of my friends that like watched me already on Rising and stuff, and they were like, oh, Alami, do you read the comments? And I was like, nope, I do not do that. And they're like, oh my God, girl, because you shouldn't. And blah, 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 blah.
Oh my God.
To tell me all the negative shit. And they're like, as they're literally watching me. And they're like.
That is so wrong.
That's so fucked up.
I'm telling you, when I say to you, truly fucking triggered, son. I cannot even tell you how fast it was. Like a fucking I was like, damn, I walked into being shot. Like that's so crazy because I felt like I'd being so careful. Like I've avoided all installments, and here I thought I was in the safety of my friend's home, and my assailant has entered and shot me at point blank range. They're like, you know, this bitch said, and I was like, that's what they said.
My mom has done that to me. Like she's like texting me like comments on YouTube. Is like, have you seen this? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to see this. Like, what are you doing? She stopped doing it now, but like there's a time where she would send me like, did you get this right? This person says you got this wrong. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, yes, I got it right. I'm looking at the comment. They're wrong. Like, Jesus Christ.
My mom sent me, she didn't send me the link, but she sent me the name of somebody who posted a video about me because she was trying to find my videos and she stumbled upon a video that was like talking shit about me or whatever. And she's like, did you hear what this guy said about you? He said this. And it was like some allegation that I took Soros money or something stupid like that. Like, are you going to respond? Because this is a lot. It's like, Mom, I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. Like, it completely makes zero difference whatsoever. Like, it's like, don't tell me about that.
My mama does that too, absolutely. And it's because my mommy's actually a hater. Like, that's the funny thing about mommy. No, like, she's a fucking hater. She's a top tier hater. So it's always so funny to me when she do be mad about something people said about me on the internet. And she'd be like, why would they say that? Meanwhile, she says that shit. Like, deep down, my mommy can't stand me, son. From time, like, all this shit the internet don't like about me, my mommy can't fucking stand about me. like, so it's like she want to be on my team because I'm a child and she love me and she don't want nobody talking about me. But also, she knows I don't let her get that shit off. So she can't wait to, like, my mommy, listen, all this shit, you see when those people are like, oh, her fucking hair, why is her hair red? Them nails, my mommy thinks all that shit. She is at home thinking the same thing.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah, she's a hater. When I change my hair to black, the woman act like, oh, thank you, God. Yes. Instantly, I'm like, my mommy is a hater. Like I hate her, but you know what is funny enough, and it's interesting because my daddy's Nigerian and my mommy's Bahamian, and my daddy's technically more reserved, more this, more, you know. But my daddy don't got nothing that he's just like, let my child do whatever the fuck she wants. Like, he don't have nothing to say about it. You know, I discovered recently my daddy has a Twitter.
Like, you didn't know he did? Oh, really?
No, he has a Twitter, bro. He has a Twitter. Yeah, he has a Twitter. And he follows me. And he's never said one fucking word. And I'm a wild bitch. Like, like for my daddy's purposes, my daddy don't know I really be geek. Like my dad, and he finds, and he don't say nothing to me. Like my daddy said to me that a woman in the bank said to him, like, oh, your daughter over there in America saying whatever she need to watch her. My dad was like, she can say whatever she wants. my daughter.
Aww.
Like my daddy's just like, you know, the girl, my daddy's like, you know, I put the child through school. I gave her one job. I told her to be a lawyer. She did that. Leave her alone. My daddy's like,
good for him.
Like, that's pretty much my daddy's position. But my mama, she be there secretly, like, she used to do when I first started appearing in the news. Every time I'd send her a video, she'd say, oh, you know, I don't like I don't like all that red, you know, that's a little hard for mommy to get over. But you know, you spoke very well. My mommy talks about me like a racist. Like, I'm not lying to you. My mommy compliments me like a clan member. Like, my mommy be like, you know, the girl speaks, she's always been very articulate. But she is a fucking hater. When I first started being on the news, my mommy's like, they don't vet. They just letting this girl just up there. My mommy will call me and
she's like, so fucked up.
First of all, she's like me, so she like jokes, and she doesn't care how you feel about it. If she getting her joke off, she's getting her joke off.
That's so funny.
I respect
Ruthless.
it. She called me and she's like, Alimi, you just gonna be up there just Alimi, you sitting there talking to the white people. You can't just answer them and be like, yeah, I'm here for the niggas. And I'm like, why can't I? Did it? I'm getting it all right, mommy. She's like, she's like, I just don't. She's like, boy, I don't know, boy. You know, like they must can't handle. I don't know why they But as soon as somebody say something negative about me, she's shaking. She calling me like ready. She ready to shake. Meanwhile, she feels all that shit. She be like, why are they talking about your breasts and your cleavage? No
God.
There has never been a slanderous comment on the internet about me, about my boobs or cleavage or anything worse than what my mama be saying in the chat.
It sounds like she's worried about how other people will perceive you, even though that isn't there. So it's like she's bringing up like criticisms that she thinks people will have that she thinks takes away from your arguments, even though they don't.
So she has them. They're her critiques. They're very much so her critiques. My mommy is like, like really.
Is she more like traditional? Because I would kind of get those critiques from my dad. Like I have like gauges in my ears and like tattoos, and he'd be kind of like, hey, if God wanted holes in your ears, he would put them in your ears. Like, is it kind of that, or is it just kind of like to clown on you?
No, my mama's a hater. Like, understand this. My mommy, no, she in her spirit, like that's what she is. Ethnically, she's a hater. You gotta like my mommy will change her position just to hate on me. Like I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, the woman that she becomes in order to disagree with me is powerful. Because I'm like, you don't think this. This isn't actually even your opinion on the matter. You have turned into a hater for me. Like my mommy, I remember it like it was yesterday. My mommy had like, it'll be her daughter, her friends, daughters, and she giving them, she telling them, I remember like it was yesterday, she said this girl out in like her bra, and like just an open sweater type thing. Not that I don't. I'm not saying that I don't do that. I obviously, if you're following me on Instagram, I do give it up like adjacent to that. Not obviously not a bra, but I am a scantily clad young lady from time to time. My mommy be, oh Lord, I like me. Oh, all this breast. I just don't understand. Yo, over last month, she called me a fucking exhibitionist.
Oh my God. Oh, wow.
Last month, yo, she called me an exhibitionist.
What the fuck? Your mom is ruthless as hell. Holy shit.
It really sounds like she's just super concerned about what other people might say about you, that she's like hating on you because she wants you to conform to whatever she thinks is okay for, society.
Let me tell you something right now. If I was a buttoned up, if right now my hair was black and straight, and I was buttoned up and blah 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 blah, all of a sudden my mommy would turn in to the most progressive, ego free. I'm telling you, she just be talking shit to hate on. Listen.
Okay, well in that case, then I have no defense of your mom.
Yeah, the lady is that you gotta understand haters. I'm telling you, that's why I could spot them in the wild. The queen hater is in my house. Okay, my mommy, you don't know. My mommy is so good at expressing disgust. Like she just like before you even. Yo, my mommy. One time, let me tell you how much she's a fucking hater. I was home for like a break in the Bahamas, and one time in college, I'm eating some food. My mommy walks up to my door. Like she'll just walk up. She like to do this. She'll just walk up to the door and look at you just. And going, this time she looks at me. She looks at me eating, and she goes, "So you're just gonna lose the battle to food?"
Oh my God.
Bitch, what?
Damn.
I'm not war with anybody but you. Yo, she's a hater.
Okay, yeah.
Hater.
Yeah, you've convinced me she's a hater. It's hard for me to take off the mom filter. It's like, no, there's got to be some explanation for this, okay? She's got to be traditional. She's got to be just looking out for. No, she's just a hater. That's
a hater for the last.
Shit. I'll give her that. She's big joke. She is funny. Like. I'll give her. She do be getting her jokes off, and I do appreciate that. Like, yeah, I'm like, get your shit off, mommy. But that's a hater. That's what it is.
We see it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, should we wind down? It's 11:02.
Yeah, I think we should wind down and do our shout outs and whatnot. I see some people asking though in David's chat. So
what do they say?
Blair wasn't able to make it.
Oh yeah.
She wasn't sure how late she was going to be. So I'm assuming she'll be back next week. Also, Lance will be back next week, and then Matt will be back the second week of January. So this is kind of like a scaled down version. It's half of the Leftist Mafia, but we'll be back in full force. We're kind of like recovering from the holidays and stuff like that. So yeah. Do you want to do our socials and whatnot?
Yes.
Yes, you
Okay.
go.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Ole.
Oh, me first?
Yeah.
I put it in my screen name this week. But I'm Miss Olurin on everything. MSOLURIN. Follow me on all this stuff. Subscribe to my Substack Olurinati, and I'm putting out my new essay tomorrow or the day after. Oh, and I have a new Teen Vogue op-ed, and my Uvalde Teen Vogue piece was the top 10 Teen Vogue op-eds of the year. So
Nice.
thank you.
Hell yeah.
Mike, go ahead.
Yeah. Mike.
I am Mike from the Humanist Report. Find me on YouTube. I'm also on Twitch every single Wednesday, starting next week. Once again, I'm done with posting my pre-recorded content for the holidays, which is all old news. But I'll be back next week on January 2nd. So find me on YouTube.
I am David Dole on Twitter and on Rational National, of course, on YouTube. And sometimes I'm on Twitch, not often these days, but I'm going to try to get back on there more often. But I've also have all the links to everyone here and who's usually here, all their links to their YouTube pages or Twitter pages below this video in the description box on YouTube, so you can make sure you follow everybody. And I think that's it.
Yeah, and thank y'all for rocking with our half show. We will have everybody back soon.
It was a good time, though. I enjoyed this more intimate.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun. Maybe we'll start doing guests if we have somebody who can't make it. Because 6 people,
that's true.
One
yeah,
of us are going to be able to miss, or are probably going to miss once in a while. So maybe guests will be like a fill-in or something, or like a regular thing. Although we're still kind of finding our vibes. So, but we'll consider it.
And we'll resume about a person that we uncancel and cancel when Lance is back, I take it?
That's right. Yeah, we'll do that when he gets back.
Yeah, we can't do it without Lance.
Yeah.
It's basically his segment.
It's his segment, so we'll do it when he is back.
Yeah.
Yes, good.
All right. We'll see you all next week. Take care, folks. I had a blast.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. What the hell? You guys hear me? Why is my video frozen? Okay, hold up. Can I fix this? Can I fix this? What the frig? Look at my face. All right, hold up. This is weird. I think you can all hear me because I see my audio jumping. So, because I want to read some super chats, but am I going to read it looking like this? That would just be odd. Let me see if I can grab this quickly. Nope, I'm here. Still here. Still frozen. Look at this. Look at this. Video frozen while the chat is moving behind me. All right, well, I can't. I tried adding a new camera to see if it would fix it, and it didn't. That's so weird. It's all good. I'm going to try it one more time. Nope. Nope. Not happening. All right. So I'm just going to read the super chat while looking like I'm licking my lips or something. All right. Here we go. That's so weird. So very weird. Super chats. All right. WizPig Tactics sounds like a good video game. A good tactical strategy game. Sorry, I already lost you. Where is it? WizPig Tactics says Greta by low effort dismissing Tate. He ended up doxing himself. Oliemi's point proven. By the way, I think it's Oliemi. I'm just going to say Ole. Don't take the argument seriously, and they self-destruct. NA says that any of you see Kyle Kalinski's debate on the PBD podcast. The host literally argued you have to earn the right to vote. Outrageous. I don't know what that is. I did not see that, but that does sound outrageous. Access Audio says Beyond Steak at Taco Bell delicious. They have Beyond Steak now. I may have to go to Taco Bell again. Though I would be shocked if they had that here in where I live. Hold up. El Lucha Dork sends a super chat. Thank you for the super sticker. David Mendoza says, why haven't I heard anyone talking about the 4 stages of that banned forced unpaid labor this year? Alabama, Oregon, Tennessee, and Vermont, not Louisiana. Why haven't I heard anything about the 4 states that banned forced unpaid labor? I didn't even know about this. But thank you for sharing. Laura Ann, thank you for the banana. Much appreciated. I could use a banana right now. Kind of hungry. Infinite Content says, time for another segment of the Mafia. Introduces Olay to a terrible white guy. Yeah, I guess that was the Crowder one. We didn't have any videos for her this time, but that's pretty funny. Observer says, bride at event at every wedding, corpse at every funeral. Bride at every wedding, corpse at every funeral. I feel like that's a reference to something that I'm missing here. Charlie says, as public figures, does it even bother you guys to know that people are talking down on you online? I'm not one to pity public figures, but to BH, I'd probably be too soft for that. At the very beginning, it bothered me more. But I'm not fazed at all by it. I really don't care. And if honestly, the only ones that bug me are really stupid ones, like the one I mentioned on the podcast where someone's like, you're a loser for playing video games. I'm like, all right, fuck you. It's just like, just random like hate is what is the only thing, like, I guess kind of bugs me because I block or mute them. But not apart from that, I'm not really bothered by anything, because anyone has ever said that's like negative towards me, that's like an accurate criticism, I've likely already said to myself. So I'm not bothered by someone else saying it. All right, I believe that is it. Thank you so much, all of you, for showing up, even though my face is now frozen. This is so bizarre. Never happened before. Anyways, thank you all, and I will see you next week. There's still videos going up this week, but they're clips from podcasts. But I am back for new videos next week. All right. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.